I'd like one of you bureaucrats out there to look me in the eye and tell me, when does my husband's life matter to you? Because it matters every day, every second of every day to me.
Hey, it is still Independence Day in Texas. You know, we had the 4th of July on Monday, and that is the day that we all shoot fireworks and drink beer and have barbecue and forget that this used to be the beacon of freedom in the world. But you know, we're still better off than a lot of people. So I guess we have to take the good with the bad. But anyway, hello and welcome. And how the hell is everybody? It's Friday, and I didn't shave. This is Scruffy week. So you're just gonna have to look at my hairy, ugly face with my goat hat, greatest of all time, the goat hat. But anyway, Kevin was boomering earlier. I hope it looks like he got his headphones in. I see red ear. Either he got punched in the head, or he's got red headphones on. But anyway, I didn't shave either. Janine didn't shave either, and she's still probably as lovely as ever. And there's people here. I see there's people. Hello, people. I'm going to make Kevin wait a minute because he gave me a headache with his headphone antics. So I see Tom and Janine and Mowgli and Janine again and Mallory. See, I'm just going to say Janine every time I see her name because she's awesome. And Cerny is here, and Troop, Robin, and let me hit this new comments button. Richard Pruitt is here, and Victor Altek, his lovely wife was introed us tonight. We love Victor. Did I say Omicidal? Omicidal is here and stuff. But anyway, let me bring Kevin in now. I've dawdled long enough, and he's frozen. Did you see that? He's got a blank screen. Stop looking at me in that tone of voice, he says.
Hey.
There. Now you're there.
See,
can you hear
I
me now,
hear
Boomer? Oh, damn it. See. Poor Kevin. Thought he unboomered it, and now he's boomered it again.
There, I've unboomered it and boomered it again.
Listen, boomer.
I'm already 40 seconds and I'm already tired of you. So I wanted to introduce you. I wanted you to know before I chop off again here, this is former Surgeon General Jerry with us, and this is Caliph. I didn't know if you wanted them to join us or
not.
Well,
did Caliph has a beard. Did he shave? He's normally quite scruffy.
Let me get my little Sharpie.
Yeah. Kevin's gonna be bitmapped because his son scammed him out of having the hard wire for his internet.
So no, well, hey, you know what? It'll stop him from bitching about speed. So if I go choppy, last week was Time Warner. This time it's just happening. Maybe my computer's shit in the bed. I don't know. How are you doing?
It's probably is operator error.
Are you hearing feedback on yourself from my speakers?
No. It's only when we play audio clips.
Oh, okay. I'll mute it.
It's only when we play audio clips. So like, I'm not gonna play one right now. But yeah, it's not a fucking big deal. We'll make it work.
What's that girl's name? Erin? Is that Erin?
Erin and
the other bitch. Please send all
Mince. Mince is what's her name?
Send all hate mail to me.
Erin Mills and something Mince. The other one is Caleb Mince's mom.
Well, stupid people shouldn't breed, and there you go.
So Janine says Canada is half of Canada is also boomering because they don't have cell service.
Oh, how
Did you guys know that the Prime Minister of Japan was assassinated?
I thought he was shot at or something, but I didn't see the rest of it.
I heard that he's dead.
I heard
Mr.
somebody
Shinzo Abe.
And then
yeah.
Hey, my air's fixed. Aren't you glad?
Well, yeah. Shinzo Abe shot dead in
No
Japan.
way. Oh no.
Wow.
Is that detrimental to our freedoms?
No, he was like the least obnoxious world leader that I could think of. One of the least obnoxious. I mean,
Meredith. Thank you, Mallory.
I mean, respectful Japanese man.
So half the country is out of cell service.
Yeah.
So that means we're going to miss at least 2 more people in the audience.
Well, that's if they use their cell to watch the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey,
I can't believe that Biden can't fix America's hat's internet.
I know. I can't comment on that. That's
America's hat needs to have cell service.
What a week, though, huh? We've won, we've lost, we've won, we've lost. We're still screwed.
Found now, Mike. We might have to. What are you wrenches like spank Mike in the chat room there?
Leave Mike alone. I'm the cute one, Mike.
Use your wrench on Mike. Hey, but if Mark is in the chat room, we should say hello to Bernie.
It's Mark in the chat room.
Mark is in the chat room.
Oh, well, that's not why you joined us.
and Tom is also in the chat room, so his little doggy might also get perky ears too when we go.
I'm gonna see if
no, before Kevin came into the pre-show back room, I was blasting Motorhead, and he comes in and he's
I'm here against my will. You know
what is that?
Thank you, Chris. Yes, sir.
Your mic sounds nice, he says. Your mic sounds. I had an altercation with Chris Big Knowledge Garland today.
Yeah.
On the Twitters. On the Twitters, and I feel like since he's here, we should have this conversation early.
And a moment to bite some chocolate first, right?
No, screw the chocolate. So yeah. So he says, am I the last fully grown human who loves a really good peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Absolutely not.
So I say, hell no. PB and strawberry jelly is the most chemically processed bread you can buy is Life. Way better than chocolate. I even vape PB&J.
The most chemically processed.
Yes, Wonder Bread. You got to get the Wonder Bread. It never goes bad. Like it never grows mold. You can buy a loaf of Wonder Bread and set it on the market or on the shelf, and it will last forever.
And you get a Reese cup for dessert.
Anyway, now we're gonna have to school Chris Big Knowledge Garland for a moment here. We're gonna have to challenge his big knowledge. So he says, wait a minute. Cocoa and PB&J are not even in the same ballpark. And he says, chocolate was created by the great gods before the existence of human beings. PB&J became popular in the 1930s. So.
Why are you pulling Chris's pants down? What is this about?
So now I had to go and do the research, man. I had to do the work. I did the work. So peanut butter has been around way longer than the 1930s, for one thing. So now a lot of people credit George Washington Carver with the invention of peanut butter and jelly, or peanut butter, which is not fair and it's not true. He did write a book about all the wonderful things you can do with peanuts. However,
Well, I can't imagine everything, but all right.
However,
we're not here to talk about Caliph.
ground up peanuts have been recorded in history all the way back. Well, there's a bunch of different stuff. So anyway, it says here, Carver was given credit in popular folklore for many inventions that did not come out of his lab. By the time Carver published his document about peanuts entitled How to Grow the Peanut and 105 Ways of Preparing It for Human Consumption, that was in 1916, by the way. And he did write that book. But anyway, there is a history of peanut butter in Suriname as far back as 1783. But if you even go a little further, it says, while the earliest example of grinding peanuts into paste has been traced to the Aztecs and the Incas. So there, Chris Big Knowledge Garland.
So Chris, here's my PBJ.
But did you may not know this, but John Harvey Kellogg of Kellogg's cereal, he's actually the guy that who sneaky bastard went behind everybody's back and patented peanut butter.
I like taking the peanuts in my chopper, whether it's creamy or chunky, and then
I don't know what I really seriously don't need you to be talking about putting peanuts
chopper.
Stuff.
Sprinkle it on the sandwich as I go. Maple syrup I've never done, Mike. That sounds like it's a good idea.
Actually, they sell peanut butter that already has maple syrup mixed into it.
Michael said, I believe, honey wheat and bread and honey on peanut butter itself, peanut butter sandwich itself.
I when I was a kid, it was all about the grape jelly.
You guys all thought you were coming in here to learn about vaping stuff. Yeah, well, hang on.
No, we never learn about vaping stuff. We learn about politics and stuff. But anyway, this is a unique rabbit hole for us to get into.
Exactly, Chris. Yes. What is his source? Who is he behind?
This is the wiki, man. The wiki is the knowledge of all things.
Who are your paymasters of jelly and peanut?
I don't know, but it's wrong.
Is this like a big baloney thing that?
No, this is just because I wanted to pick a fight with Chris.
Oh, good. Well, at the peanut butter mayonnaise. I don't know.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
I don't know. Michael, I liked you till just now.
Michael. So anyway, I responded to Chris Big Knowledge. This was before I did the deep dive into the history of
big old bus, Chris, and you're getting under it.
So anyway, I said in the 1930s, the gods realized that chocolate was stale and old news. Thus, the creation of PB&J and Wonder Bread. The Twinkie was also invented to round out the domination and destruction of chocolate. The Tootsie Roll being the final evolution of failure.
Tootsie Roll's not really chocolate, though.
Now, and it's a chocolate.
I know it's kind of
an imitator, but it is like the Super Saiyan chocolate. If you're looking for a Dragon Ball Z reference, and just to prove that I won this discussion, Chris's comment only got 1 heart. My comment got 2.
Oh, Lord. So Chris, unbeknownst to you, has already patented the chocolate sandwich. So relax, calm down.
There's already a chocolate sandwich, dummy. Dummy. My sister used to eat peanut butter and dill pickle sandwiches. Janine, there is so much wrong with that sentence.
Ew.
There is definitely. It is a Canadian. It's probably a Canadian thing,
I'll stop judging because it's ew to me.
No. I challenge. I challenge anyone in the chat room to raise your hand and say that you enjoy peanut butter and dill pickle sandwiches.
It's all.
I think that is a universal ooh. That is not just a Patrick ooh.
It's a universal ooh. You've heard that one here first ever.
No, I'm sure there's a couple things that are universal oohs, like
that.
Oh, cheese whiz and dill pickle sandwiches. That's still. I don't like dill pickle. I don't like pickle at all. So.
Now, I don't drink normally milk, but PBJ with milk.
No, you gotta dunk that shit, man. You gotta dunk that into the milk.
No, I'm not gonna dunk it.
Oh God, soak it in it. Yeah, that's the way you go.
Lee, I agree. Now, if I were pregnant, I probably would eat the dill pickle in the sandwich.
If you were pregnant, we would be so rich.
I would just, we
would sell your story to the Inquirer and make millions.
Just for the moment, from Mike, by the way, this microphone would sound way better if you were on it. That's all I'm saying.
Everything sounds better with Mike doing it. But,
Mike could sell snowballs to snowmen and
hell, yeah. Anyway, so there's been some shenanigans this week, Kevin.
They're ne'er-do-welling.
There was some Twitter shit going on. We had. I chased a woman off of Twitter this week.
What?
I'm taking credit for it.
You chased them off?
She deleted her tweet.
She deleted her account.
She did not delete her account, and she didn't even block me.
Oh, was that the crazy Diane or something?
That's that chick that said that there's no such thing as tobacco harm reduction.
Oh, I kind of got missed in that one. I saw it and then I didn't care. So yeah,
it was Philip. Philip started it.
Wait a minute, I got to go get some chocolate now.
Kirschberg. Philip Kirschberg.
Go on, Philip's a good guy.
No, he's a great guy. He's an awesome guy.
Show me the goods. Run that bean footage.
So I gotta open a screen cap. So anyway, this chick Jenna, she says Jenna in real life. I have to use a screen cap of this tweet because she deleted it because
she doesn't have any chocolate in her life. That's her problem.
She says she might need a different kind of chocolate. She's that pent up.
Well, Chris just said.
I'm just saying she might benefit from some big chocolate. I don't know. Anyway, she says harm reduction isn't a real thing for tobacco. If Juul now, I hope she does realize the entire non-combustible, vapable industry is not Juul. Even though I don't believe that, I believe that Juul is harm reduction at its core too. Juul, if Juul was interested in reducing harm, Juul would apply to make their product a cessation device. But they won't because it's still about profiting off of addiction for them. Stop accepting tobacco industry talking points. And she had her.
You don't know economics.
And she was retweeting or over tweeting Philip.
Quote tweeting, right?
Yes, quote tweeting. I was using your verbiage because you always use over tweet.
She's a twit.
So that was the shot. That was the first shot. Like
she's clapping at Philip.
Yeah. So
poor
actually,
Philip.
I have to scroll down. Here because we have to go in chronological order.
All right.
So here.
I do it every day, Janine.
See, it says this tweet has been deleted by the tweet author. So my reply to her was, I bet Jen is the type to clutch her pearls and protest a methadone clinic saying those junkies deserve what they get.
Exactly.
She celebrates when pharma companies jack the price of Narcan pens, and I bet she crosses the street to get away from the wino. Tobacco harm reduction is real. Stupid bitch. So there's that tweet. I'm not sicking you guys on her because she's already deleted her tweet, and but she did whine that everybody was trolling her. So then I tweeted at her again. I said, "What's next, Jen? Go to AA or NA meetings and tip over the coffee pots and interrupt everyone saying you're weak and subhuman if you can't stop on your own?"
That's right.
You don't get to decide what my harm reduction is.
So
after those two tweets, she deleted her tweet. I'm not saying that I did it.
Tisk.
That I chased her off on, but it was pretty close to after I blasted her.
And somebody got a screenshot. So imagine.
Well, I got the screenshot. See here, here it is, right here.
There you go.
Rob says, even sillier girl just deleted the tweet, lol. And I said, no, I preserved it.
Oh, I was in there. I saw that.
I got this long, damn narrow phone. So when I take a screenshot, it's like really skinny and long. Unless I do it like this. Pow.
I can't understand how to fix stupid either.
Yeah, well, you can't. But I just thought it was funny that this bitch thought she could tell people, you know. So then I actually tweeted at her again. I said, tweets that get deleted reveal who you really are, Jen. Your impulse to demean harm reduction, whether it's nicotine or heroin or alcohol, show you lack empathy to people's struggles. It shows that you possess a self-superior attitude and hold yourself above us weak addicts.
Yeah.
Actually,
hover over her Twitter handle there on your tweet for a second. Okay. Oh, she's a big tobacco fighter. I wonder how many fights she's won. Anyway,
well,
I don't care about the rest.
Considering she probably doesn't have enough brain cells to barely keep her body functioning.
Judge not. Unless you're doing it when you're funny.
When the stupid one, I mean, I actually, and I'll save this for later, but I did some research to find like respectable like organizations that actually do have a stance on tobacco harm reduction, and there are some quite reputable people.
I saw one today
that actually have like they agree that tobacco harm reduction is a thing, and it shouldn't be, it should be preserved.
Yeah,
but I'll show that later. It's in the show notes.
Yeah,
but
I missed that one completely.
You weren't in that thread at all. You didn't participate in.
No. I saw myself in there with my cartoonish nicotine's not tobacco bullshit story. The cartoon stuff. Yeah. She's a legend in her own mind, Janine.
Yeah. Well, she's
fighting.
A warrior, all right. A big tobacco fighter. Is that what she said?
I can't.
Big tobacco.
Name anyone who's won yet?
Against big tobacco?
Against big tobacco. Who's won against tobacco yet so far?
Well, we have.
Well, I'm saying.
I mean, it might not be the battle that we wanted to win, but we did defeat the beast, and we no longer require their product.
We've personally done so, yeah, on our own. But it's all right.
So, I guess we'll just, your favorite group of bossy women.
Them's my girls.
Your favorite group of bossy women decided to have an opinion on something that. Oh, you know what though? Did you guys miss my new photo exhibition this week?
I don't know.
Our friend Mark was able to capture some photographic images of our very good friend Skip.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
And before she could wake up and delete it, we were able to capture. So we have a photo of our friend Skip falling asleep on the toilet with her head against the towel rack. And I say, try to see the good things. Try to see the good things, Skip.
Try to see the good things. There's my ladies.
How? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Keep going.
There's wrong side. There's Jerry. Just for everybody knowing who they are. Here's Jerry, former dumbass general. That one's where am I? Blumenthal. The fuck is he at? Blumenthal.
Bloomin' idiot.
This one's Pallone. Palone's behind me. Here's Rakashakash, whatever the fuck his name is. And here's Cuomo and Cuomo.
Homo? What? Cuomo? What?
Yeah. With the prohibited.
He's got pierced nipples. I cannot even think of him in a serious way now. I can't do it.
So yeah.
It is not
I had
possible.
somebody, forgive me, I don't remember who said you ought to put a couple pictures up of whatever Durban. There's one of Durban too. So Big Dick's in the picture somewhere, but I didn't find it. Right. Along with the other one.
Why are you talking about penises?
And then I forgot who it was, so I apologize. But then I put all this one together because I thought that's a great way to ask how many, Elaine Keller, anybody, name a name, including Greg, who's had this kind of access to this much political power. Nobody. None. Zero. I don't care about being in the White House. I'm saying all of these people separately, including her little Bloomberg friend here, because that's Mike Bloomberg right there. How many of us have seen that kind of power to have our voices heard? And we got 3 crazy women talking to those idiots. So,
well, I mean, some of our closest friends are crazy women.
Well, I know that.
I mean,
I'm not going to name names.
I don't know.
How many? You can't name any. That's sad.
What, crazy women?
No,
that listen to our show? I can name off bunches of them.
You just go right down the line of the comments? Or?
I'm just not going to do it because I don't want to die. Okay, so in a shocking turn of events, Kevin, shocking turn of events.
Oh yeah.
Shocking.
Oh.
The pave mommies are upset in a shocking turn of events, delivered via tweet no less. FDA backtracks on recent decision to remove Juul from the market. Now claims scientific issues and need additional review. What? Congressman Raja, Senator Durbin, Representative DWS, and Frank Pallone. Really, ladies, like, look. And I said, you know what? Calm the fuck down, ladies. Take a deep breath, wine mommies. Pop a Xanax and sip a Chardonnay. Count to 10. You can do this. Parents versus vape. You are big girls, strong and independent, and you can decide today to take up the responsibility and be the mommies and take charge of your out-of-control kiddos.
You said big girls. I think old hags, but all right.
No. I'm trying to be supportive.
We'll agree to disagree.
Calming to them. But I don't understand why they're so shocked. I mean, I predicted this.
Well, yeah.
I mean, back on June 23rd, I even said, here's a definition of obtuse, just so that you know. Lacking sharpness or quickness or sensibility or intellect, insensitive definition, stupid. I said, if you think Juul didn't already have their legal briefs chambered and ready to fire to get a stay or an injunction, you are obtuse, absentee parents versus vapes. I mean,
you got all wordy. I just called them a flock of Karens or something.
I want them to understand that we need to let them know they are not smart. I mean, they have money, which makes they gives them some power, but they're not very intelligent. I mean, it didn't take a rocket scientist like Stan Glantz to predict that Juul already had their briefs written. They went to court. They got their preliminary injunction, and then Juul was like, "Oh well, they got us. So I guess we need to make the announcement that we're gonna
go ahead.
Really actually look at their application now."
Well, they knew what they put in it.
If people, Peter in the chat room says Juul sent him a $5 off code the other day. I don't know that they can do that, but
Wow.
I think couponing is illegal.
Well, Peter, are you here in the States?
That could be a difference. He could be in America, I but it says $5 off.
Well, that's true. And hello, Peter. How are you, sir?
But I believe the Tobacco Control Act actually outlawed coupons. Pretty sure.
Well,
at least in the States.
I think the kids have got them at the store, so I don't know.
They can't do that, but I may be wrong.
And the local shop, tobacco shop where they buy theirs, they do get some kind of discount. It's like white packaging on the outside.
I can remember you could buy 2 packs, get 1 free.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Back in the day when I was a smoker, you could and you
I had Durrell a little while. Durrell would send coupons.
Well, Durrell was already cheap, dude.
Yeah.
They were the
website.
That was before the internets.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Pretty cool.
Maybe. I don't particularly care for the product. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like the synthetic nicotine so much, but or at least not in the format that they.
Mowgli.
That's the brand that he smoked. They buy 2 get 1 free.
My brother always smoked my brand when he didn't have any.
I mean, I was brand loyal when I was a smoker up to the point where
me too.
I started calculating in my head. Now I did draw the line at Durrell. I wouldn't smoke those.
No,
but I would smoke Winston or Marlboro or Camel.
Yeah.
Whichever one was cheaper or whichever one I had a coupon for.
Of course, yeah.
Because I was I was trying to save money smoker. I did see somebody, and I don't have the picture to bring up here, but somebody actually posted a photograph from like the late 80s of somebody wearing a Marlboro jacket to the party.
Allison. Oh no, Allison prompted me to do something with it. It was somebody else, technically.
And said, "Who would wear that to a party?" I know lots of rednecks that wore that shit to party. I had the Marlboro pool stick, pool cue. Like between me and my brother, we were fucking like all of our friends. We were stealing their Marlboro Miles that they were throwing their packs away. We were saving that shit. Like, and I'm sure he probably has like a whole closet full of Marlboro stuff even now.
Yeah. I had a Camel ashtray, Camel jacket. Wouldn't wear it today, but
if you get cold,
I guess.
Yeah. Seneca or Natives, those are. Yeah, Morley is the Marlboro in the X-Files universe. Morley. I don't think Mowgli thought I was going to catch that.
So the girl's trying to pull Philip's pants down, and then you're pulling the brave girl's pants down.
It was just a pantsless party. Just a pantsless party.
You're probably not wearing pants. I don't even know.
I'm wearing shorts. Do you call those pants?
Slacks.
Pants?
I'm old enough to call them slacks.
Now I have a question. This is a general question. So, when you wear dress or business casual, you wear like a polo shirt and a certain type of pant.
All right.
What do you call those pants?
I'm going to call them Dockers, if that's what you're going at.
Okay. Well, that's one word. My boss used the word khakis.
Khakis.
In reference to all pants everything of that style.
Yeah.
That not dress pants, because they're not. I mean, they're not dress pants, but they're.
Yeah.
Even if they're blue, she still calls them khakis.
Well, your definition and my definition.
I mean, I'm a little bit of a redneck. dress pants where I come from are black blue jeans.
You're a little bit of a redneck. just
If you tell some of my friends that it's a dress occasion, they're gonna wear a Western button-up shirt and black jeans and cowboy
I don't know
boots.
many black jeans anymore.
I think I
Suit and
might
tie.
have a pair somewhere in the
Suit and tie. Weddings, funerals, speaking.
Yeah. Well,
look at this.
I'm going to wear Hawaiian shirts at my funeral. So, do you guys understand what the terms arbitrary and capricious mean? Because this particular lawsuit is not the first ones to use that phrase, arbitrary and capricious.
Nope.
Literally everybody that's attacking FDA, whether that's the premium cigar guys or the vape guys, they have used the terms arbitrary and capricious in all of their lawsuits. Some of ours that use that term or those terms, we lost. Some of them, we won, or we at least got stays, depending on which court they were in. But so this is actually from Half Wheel, and this is an adult only cigar website. This is from July 5th. The court rules FDA acted improperly in regulation of premium cigars. Now, we actually used almost this same argument. Like the vaping industry almost used this same argument and did not win.
Yep.
Earlier today, a federal court ruled that the U.S. FDA regulation of premium cigars is arbitrary and capricious. The ruling came as part of the Cigar Association of America et al. Versus the U.S. FDA. The lawsuit was originally filed in 2016 in the U.S. District Court of the District of Columbia by 3 cigar trade groups. And this, I'm actually still a member of the Cigar Rights of America, and that, as far as I know, is not a trade group. It's people that smoke cigars. But anyway, today's ruling is the largest win for the premium cigar industry in court, as the next step of the process could very well be the deregulation of premium cigars. Now, I don't know if I would say this is the biggest win, because they also got the original win where the judge actually told the FDA, you actually have to pay for some of their science to pay for their PMTAs. That was a pretty big win as far as I'm concerned. But again, we didn't have nothing to do that. But anyway, today's ruling is I read that. In his ruling, Judge Amit P. Mehta ruled that FDA did not properly adhere to the Administrative Procedures Act. Now, one of the vaping lawsuits actually went after them for the Administrative Procedures Act. By simply ignoring the fact that there was data about premium cigar usage. Now, the argument that we made was that this APA actually requires somebody that was elected. I think that's the right word. Because the person that made the actual decision ultimately was somebody that had been given the job. Not they weren't selected by committee. They were just hired. Yeah. So by simply ignoring the fact that there was data about premium cigar usage. So one of their reasons, and I'll read it here. When the agency announced its preliminary plans to regulate cigars in 2014, it proposed 2 options. One would be to treat all cigars the same, known as option 1. Another would have allowed for some cigars termed premium cigars to be exempted from regulation, known as option 2. As part of this process, the agency asked the public and industry for comments, specifically whether there was evidence that would support exempting premium cigars as per option 2. FDA announced its finalized deeming regs on May of 2016, and it chose option 1, treat all cigars the same.
They're not.
Yeah. Gary, we cannot discuss. We could lose our channel if we were to link you to a website to buy stuff. That's against YouTube's terms. So yeah, we can't help you with that right this minute. And if somebody in the chat room, no, Yeah, you're not even, only mods are allowed to post links, and they're not allowed to post those kind of links, or I'll lose my fucking channel. So anyway, FDA claimed that there was no evidence that would support this exemption, when in fact there was. Meta specifically pointed out a comment by the CRA, a trade group that was also one of the 3 plaintiffs in the lawsuit. That comment pertained to the usage patterns of premium cigars. Now, when I used to smoke cigars, I would pay anywhere from $10 to $20 for a cigar.
And those are cheap, right?
Not a lot. Well, there's more expensive ones, but those are that's like the sweet spot of the really good quality cigars, are in the $10 to $20 range. There's some that are more expensive that are not nearly as good as the $10 ones. And not a lot of kids are throwing $10 to $20 out there for a single cigar.
No. A lot, Gary.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not allowed to. Yeah. I'm not even.
Yeah, a lot.
No linkages. Our very good friend, Matt Tiny Lips Cully, his channel has been strict repeatedly this week for that purpose, that they claimed that there were links for product. So we're not allowed to promote any specific product or anything. Nope, can't do it. And we're not allowed to throw links at all in the chat room. Anyway, so they're basically saying that the FDA said that there was no scientific, no data, nothing regarding usage patterns of premium cigars when the CRA actually submitted that data. It's kind of like when that company, which wasn't Juul, was it Juul that they got their they got their denied order, and they said that Chris is way behind. He's talking about chinos. That the actual science that they were requesting wasn't included with the app, and it was. Same thing. Yeah. So they got their denial, and they were like, but we gave you what you asked for, and you said that it wasn't there, and it's right there. Same thing here. The judge said that they did have data showing that kids don't buy premium cigars, and it was ignored. So
how incompetent do you need to be to
be a public servant?
Right.
Look at Joe Biden.
So while you're taking a quick hydration break, Black's law defines arbitrary and capricious as a willful and unreasonable action without consideration or in disregard of fact or law. Admittedly, this is tough. This is a tough burden for the challenger. So it's hard to prove, I guess, is what they're trying to say. But
it's
that's
hard to read too.
Oh, shush. Here.
Well, when you've got it on black, white on black, and you highlight it, it's even harder.
I know. I thought it was going to be yellow. It's not. It's just you saying, well, I don't like this, and I don't really want to read the actual research like most people on Twitter. That's all it is.
So yeah, they made a decision that was not based on fact. Basically,
they made a decision before they saw the facts.
Well, I already told you fuckers.
Why are they all fuckers? You're not all fuckers.
Well, the people
There's a couple of you that might be. But...
remember like 2 years ago, I said, Kevin, they're going to build a software bot that's going to make sure that they're just going to do a keyword search and find what you do not have in your application, and they're going to mass flag everybody's applications and do mass denials. Everybody's they're never going to do that. We had very, very well loved and respected people that run organizations came on my show and said, no, they're not going to do that. And I'm like, they're fucking going to do it. That's the only way they can actually process this many applications. So they call that a fatal flaw error. And that's the exact same. That is exactly what they fucking did. Now they're getting bit on the ass for it now, but I told you they were going to do it.
Well, Raja was really pleased that the day before the information came out with his girlfriends. Stop looking at me like that.
Raja.
Yeah.
So yeah, I already showed this tweet. But I call this "Wino Mommies of the World Unite." Wino Mommies of the World Unite. So yeah, they were upset. So I actually responded to this, Kevin.
Oh,
since you brought this back up, so I responded. I said, "Wow, the court decided that FDA tobacco isn't your kid's parent, and they can't regulate in place of you taking responsibility for your kids."
Can you imagine?
They were forced to admit that they put ideology before science. If your kids are vaping, it's your job to parent, not US FDA's. And look, Kevin, look at this. I got 38 loves. I got 38 likes on this. And 12 retweets.
Look, Chris is right there. Look
and then Chris is right below me. Chris is always going to be below me. Shocking. Not at all. This is great news. I can't wait until there's an investigation into how anti-vaping groups are being financed. We already know. Bloomin' idiots. They're all bloomin' idiots. They all get paid by Michael Bloomberg. And then Charlie said, well, only 0.6% of U.S. high school students use Juul once a month. And you know, this is not up for debate. And here's the link to the CDC's thing. That's 0.01 million or 0.9 million. That's less. That's a very small amount. That's not even. That's like 9,000 or 900,000 people, or not even 900,000.
It ain't big.
Tens, hundreds. So it's actually 900ths of a million. So that would be like 90,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Oh well, Mallory's gonna throw the calculator magic and say that it's 12,000. Mallory says that she's surprised that Raja has girlfriends.
So am I. Yeah. They're awfully cozy on that Zoom, thing. So I don't know.
No,
I
never know.
I'm going to cast dispersions. I don't care what anybody else does. They seem awfully cozy.
Now, when you were a kid, Kevin, and I know this was a long time ago.
It is. Let me try to get my old man hat back on, right? Okay.
So, all right. Yeah, they had was it the McGruff, the crime dog?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Remember,
Smokey the Bear was
McGruff
after me, I think. Yeah. McGruff is a pretty cool guy. Yeah.
McGruff was like a dog with a trench coat and smoke. I think he even had a cigarette. I could be wrong.
I don't know that for sure. He probably did.
Oh, now I got to go over here and look up before I pull up the screen. Let's go, McGruff.
The Thunder from Down Under is right there.
He's kind of fucking late.
He was busy thundering. Leave him be.
Yeah, but he missed the whole show. We're gonna be done in like 5 minutes.
Rooney, I know I'm your favorite, and that's all we need to know. Because I love you. You're cantankerous this evening. I'm kind of liking it, and you get pretty eyes. Look at him. He's like,
looking at my eyes, Kevin. No, he didn't have it. He always had his hand up like this, though. So it would be easy to Photoshop a cigarette in there.
Oh,
here.
How did this happen?
Let me open this in his screen.
And Robin, we're not old, by the way. Earlier, I saw that.
Well, you are.
Ed's old. I said his name.
See,
there he is.
See,
That's
look,
the dad. There you go.
He had his hand like this, so you could easily throw a cigarette right there.
All right. And somebody
that's why
That's
why I sort of thought that he always had a cigarette in his hand, because his hand was always like, "Only you can." No, that's not him. What was his catchphrase?
I don't know.
Only you can prevent forest fires is the other guy.
That's Smokey.
Yeah.
That's
so
Smokey.
Anyway, the National Crime Prevention Council is who McGruff was the spokesperson for, or the cartoon for.
Are you going to bring that up on the screen? Because I saw it. Did you see it? Or did you read it yet?
I haven't read it yet.
Oh, great. Then we'll all see it together. It's already on the screen anyway. So
yeah. So it says fake vaping products.
Yeah.
Help combat fake vapor products.
Yes.
So it says the black market vaping products, the National Crime Prevention Council, the National Intellectual Property Rights Coordination Center, and Juul Labs are working with law enforcement and community leaders to promote public health and safety by keeping the public safe from fake vape products. The National Crime Prevention Council will draw upon its vast nationwide network to inform law enforcement, trade partners, and other adult community leaders about the dangers of counterfeit and black market vaping products.
I think Bernie should have. Never mind. Bernie would like this part. It's McGruff.
Bernie, I actually don't have a picture of McGruff on here, and I don't want to get hammered with using a trademarked.
I know.
Well,
wait a minute. Aren't they a government entity?
No.
Oh, crap. All right.
They're a 501c.
All right.
Yeah. Take a bite out of crime.
That's
it.
Crispy. See what happens when you consume chocolate. You're smarter.
I had him on the ropes. He was probably Googling that shit, trying to.
Chris over there Googling.
Trying to get points back. He's already in the hole so far.
You got to give him extra credit just for being.
Yeah, but I have to bash on him because he's an Oakland Raiders fan. So
what you're telling us?
They're like a Las Vegas Raiders fan now,
What you're trying to tell us so far is that there are black market products, and the company that thought they might be going out of business has partnered.
They're not going out of business. Why would you? Who in the world would think that they were going out of business?
Partnered. Can you imagine how stunned I am right now?
Do you realize business? Do you realize that they're also a quite lucrative marijuana company?
But they're partnering with the National Crime Prevention Council.
Well, they've never committed any crimes.
McGruff themselves.
I mean, Juul has never committed any crimes, like other than being dicks. I mean,
no, I know that, but I can't imagine they committed any crimes, and I'm not inferring or referring to that.
No, you're implying.
But if they were just going out of business and this comes out a day later, that's crazy.
But they're not going out of business, Kevin. They know they're not going out of business.
And we know they're not.
They're not fucking going out of business.
Just went all the way around to zero, didn't it? Ding.
Nobody believes they were going out of business.
Did anybody in the chat room think they were going out of business? I'm curious.
I think Pave did, but they're just.
You never know. Really, you don't.
They've overdosed on Xanax and Chardonnay. But anyway,
Pave, yeah.
Yeah. Health and safety risks. Illicit black market vapor products have negative public health consequences and are infiltrating local communities. These illicit products undermine efforts to combat youth vaping and present additional health and safety risks for adult customers or consumers. Help us in our joint effort to protect old adult consumers from the additional risks of illicit vapor products and keeping all vapor products, authentic ones and fake ones, out of the reach of our country's youth. Don't we have laws already in place, Kevin?
Yes, we do. In fact, we do. Age restricted.
Yes. I seem to
remember. Shall I elaborate?
I seem to remember telling state leaders all over the fucking country, you guys need to be in there kissing ass and getting politicians to write T18 bills, not T21 bills, but because there were dumbass vapor people. I'm saying this. There were dumbass assholes that were in the vapor space that were selling vapor products to 18-year or younger than 18-year-olds, and their excuse was,
There was no
against the
law.
law. It's not against the
There was no
law.
law.
So,
and I don't know if I know.
There's
any of those
a
people.
broadcast that we did back in 2015, 2014, where we were in Houston at an event, and we went to a local vape shop, and I'm not joking. There was like a 14-year-old kid at the counter, and I turned to the guy at the counter. I was like, "Are you actually going to sell that kid something?" He's like, "Well, it's not against the law."
Amanda's in the room.
I'm not afraid of her. I'm not afraid of her.
I don't understand why you would sell it literally.
Literally, I was like, dude, you realize that they're going to use shit like this.
You're an idiot. Them. Whoever you were, you're an idiot.
Well, it's not against the law, bro. Well, no, it legally at the time wasn't.
And you can.
I said, but
you can respond at kevincrowley@hotmail.com.
Yeah,
that's all you need to do.
All Karens can complain to Kevin.
Exactly. I had Karenitis this week, actually. It's kind of hurt on the right side a little. Cigar babes. So
the problem is the Cigar Babe. It wasn't only in Texas. It wasn't only in Texas, and only a dumbass that's not really been paying attention would believe that. I mean, I've been around since 2010, and I can tell you that there's still people in the open vapor industry that sell to kids every fucking day.
I'd heard it. I never knew about it. I don't even know who you're speaking about, and I don't care. They're all dumb. I
mean, I can pull up the actual sting sales, not the FDA ones, the actual local LEOs.
Right.
You can pull those up on the internet, and you would be amazed at the number of vape shops that are getting bashed by local cops. You just said only in Texas, right above here, right there. Look, I'll show you. Only in Texas.
Look, Amanda's excluding you. She said, "Hi, friends." So there you go.
Well.
Hey, bastard's going to hold you down.
Yeah. Aren't most disposable vapes black market? Technically,
probably.
Well, that's I would say gray market, but not most disposable vapes. But so the disposables that are manufactured by Big Tobacco, those are not. But a lot of these bars that I've been seeing like Elf stuff now. I've been seeing all of these products were out after 8816, so technically they're illicit. They're not legal.
Yeah.
But since there's been zero enforcement of existing law, they want to go out and make new laws when they don't have the infrastructure, the staff, the whatever, the wherewithal to actually enforce the authority they already have.
Yep. And to clarify, Amanda, I don't like him. If you don't like him, that's okay.
Nobody likes Patrick. Nobody. Even McGruff the crime dog, who were reading their article,
he'd probably bite you.
He probably would take a bite out of Patrick. Not just crime, but take a bite out of Patrick too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm kind of shocked that this came out. I really was.
I'm not.
I like it.
I mean,
I'm happy about it.
I mean, if I was Juul, and there have been companies making black market pods for Juuls. There was a company that, I don't know that they're still in business because they got sued and lost their shit, but they were actually not using nicotine. They were using some sort of nut concoction that they had distilled, some sort of nut, and they were using a nut additive or something. And I'm like, there are people that are allergic to nuts.
Right. What was the website you mentioned last week where you could sign up and be against underage use? Vape Youth something or Vape?
Oh, Vape Free Youth. That was years ago. It doesn't exist anymore.
Vape Free Youth.
Because people made fun of us when Dimitri came up with the idea.
There's a foundation, and then it all gets squashed. So I'm really glad that this is out. I am.
So,
I don't know what anybody else is going to think.
So Amanda says, as far as I know, Elf Bar is synthetic and they filed a PMTA. I don't know about all the Elf knockoffs. So even if Elf did file a PMTA, they are not allowed to be on the market until after they receive MDO, if they were not, or not MDO, marketing orders. Beetle nut. Yes, that was the thing. As far as I remember, the actual thing is if you didn't have your product out before 8/8/16, you could not introduce it to market until you got marketing orders. So
Chris, he'll eat your chocolate and you won't like him anymore either.
I won't eat his chocolate. I might steal his peanut butter and make a sandwich, but I would never eat his chocolate. Yes, that was the nut, beetle nut. That was the nut that company was making Juul pods, knockoff Juul pods. So yeah, if I was Juul and I owned the patent on my shit and somebody was making knockoff shit, I would sign up with the National Crime Prevention Council, the National Intellectual Property Rights Coordination Center, and I would try to kick ass and defend my intellectual property. I would do that.
So they're a 501(c)(3). You said
what? I know that they're a 501(c). I don't know which.
Okay, I'm just looking at what Karen's
here, I'm gonna go down here to the bottom.
Karen, Tobacco for Kids, and all the other anti-stupidity.
Yeah, let me see. Let me go to the about the National Crime Prevention Council and see what they are.
I haven't even seen McGruff in years, so this kind of
he's on their website. He's on their website. Let's see.
It shocked me that they were doing it. It really did. So I'm not trying to prolong the inevitable of going on.
No, but I want to answer that question because I want to know what kind of 501(c) they are. They do receive a lot of federal funding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chugga's in the room. I didn't see.
Chugga. I don't know. I've seen her 3 sheets to the wind, my friend.
I don't have any.
It just says it is a private nonprofit organization. It doesn't say what kind it is.
Okay.
It says here, right here. It says the National Crime Prevention Council is the nation's leader in crime prevention as a private nonprofit organization. Blah, blah, blah. They help people, blah, blah, blah. I would imagine that they're an educational. So I think that would be as 501(c).
Right, they always were. I just didn't know for sure.
But yeah, they do a lot of work. They own, or not own, but they get a lot of funding from the U.S. government. It says.
So this is actually kind of a step up in my opinion.
The Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Justice Programs, U.S. Department of Justice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
my armchair quarterbacking is just saying, "Wow, this is actually kind of good." It's going to be hard to bounce off of that for any negative connotations. That's all. I found.
I mean, I'll say negative shit about Juul all they want, you know.
Right? They still will.
I mean,
you go to beat the
again.
Dog?
I don't. The product works for some people. I don't have a problem with the product. I don't particularly like the product. Doesn't help me.
Right. No, I'm talking
if it
about
helps somebody else quit smoking. Fuck yeah.
I'm just talking. Mark is back. I'm talking about McGruff being abused as an animal because they're partnering with Juul in some way from somebody else or another place.
Hey, so if Juul wanted to sponsor my network, I'd fucking take their check. I don't give a shit.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'd tell everybody, hey, Juul paid for this segment or whatever, but
right.
I'm you know, I gotta pay the bill somehow. Crazy for feeling. Now you sent me a thing that said, "Oh, I forgot this one last week," so I'm throwing it up here now. International health experts denounce misinformation on nicotine.
Right. 24 share updates on occasion comes out with things for our side, I guess, if you will. Dr. Hayek out of wherever
that's
he is.
Hayek out of London.
Yes. Some anti-nicotine campaigners spread misinformation or exaggerate that nicotine is brain poison as they feel they are fighting the right cause. He said,
"You mean it doesn't put brain worms in me, like the commercial does?"
Well, you had those before you were ever fucking.
No, I went to the vet. I got dewormed. I went to the vet.
You got dewormed. Bernie. They feel like they're fighting the right cause because that's what they're told to do. Either they can't think for themselves or they're afraid to speak for themselves. It's one of those two things. So, Professor Hayek said there is no clear scientific evidence to such a claim, and there isn't. I've looked continuously. These smoke-free products are also significantly more effective than nicotine replacement therapy in making smokers quit, according to Public Health England, the highest medical authority in the UK. I don't think we need to move on. I just thought it was a great source, a brief source in the nicotine world if you're in it.
Well, Jerry Stimson's in here. Dr. Sweener's in here. It is a worthwhile piece. Michael Russell.
They mentioned, they mentioned
is
him.
also mentioned in here. So yeah, the link is in the doohickey, the show notes.
It's a very tired old myth, is all it is. I call it a multi-billion-dollar global lie that they keep spewing. Period. So, if you can show me the harm, then show it to me. I've been asking from A to Z for everything that I did with that little challenge, and nobody except vapors have tried, and they did not meet the criteria. I've got criteria, and if you meet it, it's actually pretty simple. It scared me when I was told the basis of my own challenge, and it was directed with a couple people that, you got to show at least 2 people. And I was like, oh my God, I could be wrong. And I did it anyway. And nobody, 0, that many.
Yeah.
So,
see, I'm going to throw something on screen, and I want you to look right down here in the bottom right-hand corner, Kevin.
Yeah, do tell. What do you know about that kind of stuff?
I'm talking to somebody over here.
What's that?
At the American Council on Science and Health. Yeah.
Was there a prompting to do so, sir?
Some moron tweeted. See, some dumbass
Jerry?
thinks that the best place to reach out to reputable people to get them on the show is on Twitter.
Some moron. And what happened so far? You reached out?
Well, I actually reached out to them in a DM, and they said, please contact us in a professional way. Here's our email. Send it to this, please.
So was the moron wasn't Jerry then? Okay, good. I was just making sure it wasn't Jerry.
Well, no, you can repeat. I mean, Jerry is really not a, what's the word? A relevant person anymore. Every once in a while, I'll like say something mean to him on Twitter just because it's fun.
Because it's fun.
He's not the Surgeon General anymore, so why would I?
I hope Bernie's okay. That's how.
Yes, I hope Bernie is okay as well.
I do.
Not to say it just because
Janine,
Kevin said it.
Janine has a question, and I don't know the answer.
Cameron English is all I'm going to say.
I've heard that name.
Dr. Hayek, the person who did the vape comparison experiment under a dome with cotton balls.
I know the video, but I don't know who it is.
I don't think he's in that video. No, that's it's not Britain. What's the other guy?
Was that Cranfield? Dr.
There's actually multiple versions of that video. There's a British version and an American version. The British guy,
Dr. Cranfield, and I bet
the British guy, he's the guy that was on my intro, the old intro, talking about how sad it would be if everybody was brainwashed and thought that vaping was bad for you. It's that guy, but I can't remember his name right off. He used to be the health minister of Britain. So there's
Chris.
Yeah, there's a couple different ones. But the British guy is the one that I think she's asking about, because Hayek is from Europe, but he's not British. I don't think. I think he's like
Vaping Demystified.
Yeah.
That doesn't ring a bell, but I believe you.
Yeah.
I just know the video.
Like,
I know.
There's multiple versions. Like I said, there's multiple versions of that.
And I think it's kind of realistic. I don't know if it's exact, but it's kind of realistic.
Well, I mean, it shows you that the vaping residue in the lungs is
completely
clear.
simulated, I guess is what I should say. It's simulated. It's similar, but
yeah,
the cigarettes in the olden days, when I was in the 20s.
Hey Kevin,
they would show...
Kevin, shut up. Look.
Alan.
There
good evening, sir, or good morning, sir, whichever it is.
Now you can return to conversation. I just wanted you to
in
see
the olden days,
Alan was on Facebook.
I did not see him until you mentioned it. And Shabab did that experiment.
Yes.
In the olden days, when they show the cigarette sitting on the machine and it's taking a puff every 12 seconds or whatever it is, it's not normal use back then, and it's not normal use when they pretend they're suctioning shit out of it.
No, it's not.
So you see, I told you how smart Alan was, and look, kabam!
Yeah, he's a very highly intelligent young man. I totally believe that. Totally believe that. I have never said anything negative about Alan other than the fact that he.
And you better never.
I have private messages where he's like, I don't think I should come on the show because I'm very quiet, and I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
Someday he may.
He's awake. He's awake right now.
Right.
I mean,
that's right.
I know that the time delay, I think it's like 2 a.m. over. No, it's
right.
It's a different time of day over there.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's a ne'er-do-well, though. You know that, right?
Well, I mean, that fits in with our brand, so it's okay.
and I'm some colonist from.
He's one of those colonizers. That's the word, colonizer.
Backwoods colonist,
Yeah,
I think is what
I'm the hillbilly and he's the colonizer.
That's right.
All right. So Inside Sources just put out a piece on 2 days ago. Right? Yeah, 2 days ago. Harm reduction takes a U-turn on vaping. And this is after the FDA tweeted that they were he says it's 4:20 a.m. You should roll yourself one right now. 4:20. Go for it.
Coffee.
I don't know. Is pot legal in the UK? Is it?
No, I said coffee.
Oh, I said roll one. I don't think. And he says he's still very shy. He has a social anxiety disorder. Public health officials and those with significant sway in setting public policy were joyous last month when the FDA denied the ability of Juul Labs to continue selling its vaping device. Handed down as a MDO, the decision forces gas stations, retailers, vape shops to pull Juul's devices off the shelves, depriving consumers of their ability to buy these products through legal means. They actually never took them off the shelf here. There should have been a week where they were gone, right?
Yep.
Technically, but yeah, they were still on the shelf the whole time.
You think that
though the company, though the company has won a temporary stay by the DC District Court of Appeals, the FDA's recent nicotine zero mandate, including limits on nicotine in cigarettes and bans on menthol tobacco products, shows the administration won't back down on its plan to reduce nicotine consumption.
Old man.
Now, you remember a while ago when all of these organizations had as their mission statement to reduce smoking morbidity in the United States or in the world. And now they've changed their mission statements to a nicotine-free future.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you see how they sort of one day they just changed their mission statement on their website and didn't even, because we did a show like 2 years ago, probably not by now, Kevin, where we searched the internet, we scoured the internet for anti-smoking advertisements,
We couldn't find
could
any
not,
in the United States.
Could not find any in the United States. There was a few from Public Health England. And then the rest of the ones that we found were from like India, Pakistan,
Spain, I think.
Spain, developing countries, what we would call
Portugal or something.
LMICs, So there was literally not a single anti-smoking ad.
Not in the United States.
In the United States live. In the last, well, by now, I think it was 2 years ago we did that show. So, and we had gone back like a full 5 years or so on the previous search. So at least for the last 5 years, I would say, we could not find any anti-smoking print ads. We couldn't find any anti-smoking commercials. We couldn't find any of that. The Truth had quit making anti-smoking ads and had gone to anti-vaping during that time. All of the youth advocacy orgs had just silently switched off of cigarettes and went straight after vaping.
Yeah.
So that's when they changed their mission statements. So anyway, but that would be but that would be a real missed opportunity for public health. Rather than banning consumer products or setting rigorous, if not impossible, standards for getting vaping products to market, the FDA could follow the president's rhetoric and endorse tobacco harm reduction as an alternative. Even Gottlieb talked about a continuum of risk. He was like the first guy to get up on stage and discuss a continuum of risk.
Yep.
And that we need to narrow the on-ramp for kids and, make the on-ramp accessible to adults. But nobody, he was a loser anyway, don't get me wrong. But at least he was there and he used the words. But after he left, nobody at FDA, nobody is even willing to talk about it. Obviously, we have video of that young lady who I cannot remember her name, talking exactly about the fact that all of FDA's efforts have been on prevention messaging. Not a single dollar of their advertising has been about harm reduction.
Nope.
And she admitted it. She said, we haven't done that. But if they ask us a question directly in a one-on-one setting where nobody else but them can hear it, we'll tell them the truth.
Right.
That is not the exact wording that she used, but that is by definition what she was implying.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's not.
Kathleen,
we're not going to make a public statement in front of a bunch of people.
Kathleen something or other.
Yeah. I have her name somewhere, but I'm not going to go look for it right now. As a matter of public health, harm reduction is one of the key pillars of President Biden's harm reduction is one of the key pillars of President Biden's national drug control strategy, as he revealed in this year's State of the Union address. This includes education support, clean needle exchanges, safe injection sites for those addicted to drugs like heroin and other prescriptions. If this path is virtuous for those addicted to opioids, why shouldn't it be the same for those addicted to nicotine as practiced elsewhere?
Absolutely. There you go.
Boom. That is a mic drop moment right there.
Yep.
And obviously, when we had a lady on Twitter, we got called trolls because we were pointing out to her, because she said there's no such thing as tobacco harm reduction.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a good thing Philip Kirchberg actually was engaging with her, because I would have never seen that tweet had not Philip seen it, had not Philip been engaged, because it wouldn't have shown up on my timeline.
I prefer Twitterati, by the way. It's just
well, yeah. What are we talking about at NDA?
Non-disclosure agreement.
Oh. I have a couple NDAs.
I've had a couple. They're all done now. If if I may, for that last paragraph, why shouldn't it be the same for those? Can I
Because the same people that are anti-vaping are promoting these.
can I break that down for a second?
Yeah,
It
go
ain't
ahead.
gonna
Break
take
down.
long.
Break it down.
Because you're a smoker or a vapor and you don't mean shit to me. That's why. That's why. That's all I needed. Time's up. Drink some more. Oh, because you're an evil smoker or vapor. That nicotine just gets all in your brain.
Subhuman. You have to throw the word
And
subhuman in there.
around you little bots. That's why.
Yeah. The United Kingdom not only recognizes the benefits of vaping devices, but actively recommends them in their own materials and the National Health Service, their state health system, championing the 1.2 million British vapors who have now quit smoking. Health wards in New Zealand routinely offer vaping products to patients. All right, where are my Kiwis? Is this true? Health wards in New Zealand routinely offer vaping products to patients.
Not sure.
I guess I should click on the hyperlink here.
Oh.
So it says vapes introduced to, and I am not even going to try to say that. Waniganu Mental Health Ward as it aims to become smoke-free
Mallory said
by
it's
June
true.
27th. Yeah, but she's not a Kiwi. I can't. If she was a Kiwi, I would. But
well, June 27th, so it's offered.
This is one particular ward, though.
Well, routinely there. Ambiguous, is that the word? I don't know.
That's just one particular ward, and I don't know that it should say one. Tom says one psych ward allows vaping. So it should say one health ward in New Zealand routinely offers vaping products to patients.
And for the record, I am interrupting you purposely. Dr. Glover, I believe, had a story of a mental health person walking out of, I don't know if she had the link or if she had the story itself, walking out of the hospital and bad things happened because they were smokers or whatever. And that's not right.
No, that was Mark. That was
Mark.
Doctor.
Okay.
That was Mark that said that. There was that people would check themselves out of the hospital because they were in a tobacco-free.
That's right.
That was
because I did fun. Okay, I watched that.
That was last week. Remember, we played the reruns.
Yeah.
If the UK and New Zealand can cite various studies and health surveys demonstrating that vaping devices are 95% less harmful than smoking, why does this evidence fail in crossing the ocean to American regulators? In the latest Gallup polls, What?
It's a big wave. Yeah, it's a big wave. That's why. Yeah.
If the latest Gallup polls are believed, 6% of Americans are vapors, most of whom make less than $40,000 a year. That is equivalent to 20 million vapors who have chosen a less harmful product to quit. Now, that is not accurate.
I don't know about that.
That is not accurate. This number is not accurate.
There's no link for it either, is there?
No. So twice that number, nearly 40 million are still smoking, according to the CDC, pivoting to a harm reduction strategy. Now, yeah, that's not even close. This is over exaggerated. Twice that number. Okay, it's way off, like double, or half. This is double the. Yeah, no, that's not true. That includes recognizing the vape shop owners, unless they're adding the kids, Kevin, and that's still
cough.
That's still not right.
Sputter, cough, Jeffrey. Cough. Okay, including the kids, then there's like, I don't know, 480 million vapors. Then,
well, depending on which one of those assholes in the quoted thing above there, because every time they give a speech, it's 3 or 4 extra million every time.
It's like 1,300 an hour. Yeah, my calculator can do tobacco control math now. I've trained it.
So That includes recognizing the vape shop owners, passionate vapor community groups, the tobacco control professionals who have come to rely on the entire industry of vaping products as a more effective strategy in eliminating the harms of tobacco. I don't know very many people that are in tobacco control that are
Certified
actually
CDC.
currently employed in tobacco control.
Certified CDC. They certified me in tobacco
You're not
control.
a professional.
No, but I have a little certificate and everything.
Yeah, I have a computer and Adobe Illustrator. I can make a certificate.
I took their test in 2014 or 15. Hold on, I'm gonna show it to you. I didn't make it up.
I was gonna go to Panama to this thing that Jeffrey wanted me to go to.
Yeah.
But then I just saw that they passed a thing saying that I can't vape there, so I don't know if I want to go now or not.
I'm going to share the Victor screen with momentarily, just because you pissed me off.
Did I piss you off? I'd like to piss you off.
I literally took this.
Now, actually, Kevin, I could make that exact certificate in like 5 minutes.
I know you could, but I took their laboratory training, whatever the hell it was. I saw it somewhere, and I was like, I'm going to take this just to see. And they gave it to me, and I was like, wow. And then Vlad, the vapor, the mouse,
the vampire,
he took it as well, and he got one. So yeah, literally, this is real. It was 2017.
Well, I mean, if I create it on Illustrator and print it out and it's an actual thing, then it is real. Now, it's not make believe.
Now I'm going to read this to you. A tobacco control prevention. The wording was funnier than taking the test.
Are they preventing tobacco control?
I am a treatment and beyond instead of infinity, a tobacco control prevention training tool. And I just thought it was hilarious. I when I took it and they showed me they emailed me I just started laughing.
You make yourself laugh when you're not even saying anything funny.
Oh my god, it was hilarious.
Jeffrey says that it's I can still vape in Panama. I just can't sell it, and I can't do it in no smoking areas. Okay.
See, Cigar Babe, I'd have to find one of my old tweets. I will look tonight though, and then if I find it, I will link it to you. It's been a long.
And Amanda says that you are so good at preventing tobacco control.
It's exactly what it said. I'm gonna look.
I know. That's why I was making fun of you. So anyway, those who applaud the administration's actions on Juul point to the company's past advertising to youth and the higher uptake of young people to vaping devices. These are troubling situations that deserve careful consideration, public scorn, and action, especially considering the effects of nicotine on adolescent brains. Only on adolescent mice brains.
Yes.
Because Kevin's brain is still, he's 80 years old and he still has an adolescent brain. So it hasn't damaged him at all.
It's smaller than a mouse brain anyway.
Yeah. That said, rather than mitigating these harms to young people and addressing them properly, why are we so quick to abandon 40 million smokers from the opportunity to switch to a less harmful product to satisfy their addiction? Because apparently there's no such thing as tobacco harm reduction, according to Jen in real life. Most vapors enjoy products from a competitive marketplace of open tank systems, disposables, and pod tanks. I don't like the word pod tanks. Far from the grip of any tobacco executive. This point is often overlooked in the public debate on vaping. No, because we're all big tobacco shills.
That's right.
Especially Kevin.
That's right. Specifically.
Yes. And I'm very upset. I'm very upset that we still haven't gotten keys to the private plane yet. Yeah, so Mowgli says he has an adolescent brain and he'll do hard time if anybody finds it. That's a Stephen King joke. It literally is. There's a speech where it's not a speech, it's they have a conversation. It's John Grisham and Stephen King on stage at a university talking, And John Grisham is saying, he says to Stephen King, because they're asking each other questions. He says, I'm an attorney, so I write about attorney stuff. I write about legal stuff. He says, but you write about like scary stuff. You write about horror stuff and monsters and stuff like that. And Stephen King says, yeah, he says, they always told me that everybody says that I always have the mind of a small child. And he says, I point at it. It's in a jar on my desk. And that was the Stephen King joke. Yeah. Abby Normal. That's from Young Frankenstein.
Ooh.
Were you looking for something, Kevin?
I am.
Okay.
You hear me tapping?
No, but you got really silent there for a minute when I was talking about brains and jars and stuff and Mowgli, and I was wondering. I didn't want to leave you in the dust.
I'm just letting you roll.
Okay. If the pandemic taught us anything about public perceptions of risk, it is that we must empower individuals to make decisions to improve their own situation rather than making it for them. Oh, really? Really? Thwarting adult consumers' ability to choose a healthier option is denying the genuine health benefits that come with embracing harm reduction. Oh, Kevin's trying to get it. His Twitter, he's got like 18 billion tweets on it. It's going to take him forever to find it.
I'll find it.
And he hasn't taken his Geritol today.
No.
We have laws for a reason. They should be enforced to keep vape devices away from the hands of youth. Education and strong parental supervision would do one. Oh my God, he wants parents to do parent stuff. Oh, no. Education and strong parental supervision would do wonders in keeping a generation from addiction. No. See, we have a situation where people have sex and they make children, but they don't want to have responsibility and they don't actually want to be parents. When their kids become teenagers, they want to be friends with their kids and not parents with their kids. So they don't like to say no because then they won't be friends anymore.
Parenting is an action verb.
Yeah. No. Sorry. If I had children, I would not be friends with my children. I would be, I'm your dad, and that means that I'm smarter than you until you become like geniuses and stuff, and you do what I say. And if you don't, I'm going to beat your ass. I don't care. You know what?
Yep.
Tell on me for spanking you. Go ahead, because then you're going to go to some crappy foster house.
Yep.
And then I can just make another one. Yeah.
Like
anyway, yeah, that's a Bill Cosby joke, actually. But completely abandon the prospect of a smoke-free society. Well, because they don't care about smoking anymore. We just discussed it. All of these orgs, all of them, they took smoke-free future. We want to reduce the number of people that die. They don't care about smoking anymore. That's why we have no anti-smoking commercials or anti-smoking advertisements or none, literally none, because they don't care about smoking anymore because we killed it. We killed it, you and us, and we killed it. So, anyhow, dead,
gone.
Are you still wasting time looking for that thing?
Yeah.
Pippa, I would be your daddy.
Who's your daddy? Oh.
That was.
Oh my goodness.
That was crazy fun. Oh, what are we doing here? Oh, there's this podcast, Kevin, called The Naked Scientists. And I thought it was going to be on Pornhub, but it's not. It's not. They have their own website. thenakedscientists.com, and it's a podcast. And they did a podcast they did a podcast. Well, it is actually a video. I could doubt, but I don't want to. They'd probably get mad at me. Does vaping inflame the brain? Inflame the brain.
Absolutely. Have you seen the Pave Ladies?
Is your brain on fire, Kevin? Is your brain on
never
fire?
has been.
So here's a tagline. It says signs that some vapes inflame the brain and other organs. How a whiff of CO2 puts mosquitoes in a feeding frenzy. How long it takes, blah, blah, blah. So signs that some vapes inflame the brain and other organs. Mowgli knows where I was going. I was going to actually name the show Inflamed in the Membrane, but I did not. But he actually typed Inflamed in the Membrane in the chat room. Inflamed in the brain. So I'm not gonna play it, but no. they do have a full transcript that you can click on here. So then it opens up a tab so that we can read what they said. So vaping inflames the brain, and this is from Laura Crotty Alexander of University of California, San Diego. Rates of e-cigarette and vaping product consumption have risen dramatically in recent years in the UK over just 5-year period from 2012 to 2017. Really? You're going to rely... We're in 2022 now, folks. Right? 2022.
Yes.
Why are they quoting dates that are 5 years old? 5-year-old dates that are 5 years old. So 10 years ago.
So the narrative fits the description.
Right. So it says here, it climbed by several 100%. Many users are former smokers who regard vaping as a healthier option and have switched for that reason. But there's also a, for the moment, small but growing cohort of never smokers who vape because it is perceived as a low. You know what? I don't care. If somebody never smoked this, I do care because, you have to prove that you don't initiate new use in your PMTA or whatever. But I would prefer, I literally don't care though. If somebody was going to smoke, but instead of smoking, they vape, that's better than them smoking, right?
Correct.
If they were going to smoke anyway,
correct.
It's better for them to vape.
Less
now,
harmful.
Since I'm not a vaping company, I can have that opinion, but I know that as part of the PMTA, you're supposed to prove that you don't initiate new use in your product. But okay, fine. Just saying. I'm out of sorts today, Kevin.
It's you're a little off kilter.
I'm a little mad. I'm
impressed.
I see stupid stuff and it just kind of makes me mad.
Well,
really? And, I have a short temper today. I work 9 hours and I was only supposed to work 7. So I was really angry that I had to work later than I was supposed to, because I was going to go and buy beer and steaks and cook a steak out, but I didn't get time to cook the steak. So now I have to have steak tomorrow instead of today.
Aww.
I'm really grumpy about having to postpone my ribeye steaks.
Aww.
They're literally, Kevin, look, they're literally this thick.
Mm-hmm.
These are they got the tomahawk steaks with the bones still attached. Those are awesome.
Let's see.
Red meat. Anyway, no, let's go back. Could it be, though, that in the same way that it took decades of following up smoking doctors before Richard Dahl could categorically say that smoking causes health harms, vaping, being a relatively new phenomenon, just doesn't have the data yet for us to know what the health risks are? This is very much the view of we just don't know. So since we just don't know. I mean, we absolutely do know that they're safer than cigarettes, but we just don't know.
We have no idea.
So let's just let people that are smoking, even though we know this is safer, there's some argument about whether or not it's 95 or 98 or 99 or even 50. Even if vaping is only 50% safer than cigarettes, Kevin.
That's correct.
Even if it's 10% safer than smoking, it's still safer
Dr.
than
Bindle
smoking.
said if it's 5%.
It literally it is indeed in any measurable percentage safer than combustible cigarettes. We should be heralding them to market. We should be praising them for coming out. Literally, just no. We just don't know, and since we don't really know, let's just we don't know what's in them, and even though that they put their applications in and stuff, we still we don't know. I mean, that's literally what these assholes sound like. Anyway, this is Laura and Chris. So Laura says, in terms of whether the e-cigarette aerosol mixture is safer than conventional tobacco smoke, it looks like it's going to have fewer health effects, but it will have its own set of health effects. And then Chris responds, which could be different and remote and, in fact, manifest in a different part of the body, presumably if there's different chemicals than what's in cigarettes. And Laura says, absolutely. Cigarette smoke contains about 7,000 chemicals, and that use of cigarettes leads to damage across the body, whether from your lips, where it first makes contact, all the way down to the GI tract and out the skin and to the brain. And what we sought to find was whether e-cigarette aerosols could also impact those different organs across the body. Because, there's another University of California professor who was really interested in how it made teen boys' underwear smell.
How you doing?
I actually have audio of that somewhere.
I know you do.
I have audio of that where he's talking about what you should smell teen boys' underwear. You should, yeah. So Chris says, how did you do it? So she says, we used a mouse model. So we have this special setup where we take the mice and we put them in a little pie-shaped wedge container where they can move around. And then we use e-cigarettes that have been bought on regular websites, and we give them a puff of e-cigarette aerosol and then regular air. And we have them breathe that in for 30 minutes 3 times a day. And Chris says, and is the mouse dose equivalent to what a human consuming these products would get, or are the mice getting a much bigger impact and a bigger dose? Because obviously a human breath would be massive for a mouse. So Laura says, we do try our best to design those mouse models to mimic human use, which is why we expose the mice multiple times a day, because a lot of humans use e-cigarettes throughout the day. And then we put one puff that's more human sized. We actually put into a larger chamber where it diffuses. So 16 mice are breathing in that aerosol. So you remember when we did the mouse science math last week, Chris or Kevin, where we talked about how a 3-week-old mouse is the equivalent to a teenage boy. But
that's right.
Then we
with all the attitude.
And we because they're those teenage mice are fucking little jerks. Their parents should take them out behind the barn and kick their ass. But and then we talked about the length of the experiment that they put them through being the equivalent they claimed of 10 years of use, and it was actually, we did the math ourselves, like 30 or 40 years of use. So they don't even follow a consistent mice math for their experiments. So Chris says, how do you then marry up what that intake is doing on different parts of the body?
Well, we guess.
So then she says, well, we actually harvest the mice, and then we take all the different body parts, and then we
harvest means
look at
kill.
them using special. Yes, that's what it means, Kevin. I still think they should experiment on teenage kids. Is what I think. They should
see what they do.
I mean, especially if they're going to chop them up into pieces and test. That's what it says here. We actually harvest the mice, and then we take all the different body parts, and we look at them using special tools that look at gene expression or levels of protein. And we actually even look at organ function. How can you look at the function of an organ after the actual animal is dead?
I have no idea.
Because the organ is no longer functioning. So
I'm not a scientist.
Well, I'm just looking at humans. Anyway, and so we use different measures to try and determine whether inhaling those e-cigarette aerosols over months leads to changes in these organs. So, what do you take a fresh, healthy mouse that you haven't put in the tube with the other mice, and that is your basic mice. That's your control. So then you have to keep him alive and healthy and unnicotined, and then you nicotine up the other mice, and then you cut that mouse up that you didn't do anything to. That's the control. You look at his organs, and then you cut up the organs of the mice that you dosed with massive amounts of nicotine, and you look at those organs. Yeah, I see what they're doing. That poor healthy mouse that didn't do anything wrong, he didn't vape, didn't smoke, they still cut him up into little itty bitty bits.
Yep.
Poor mice.
Sad.
Yeah, I think they should save those mice and just feed the snakes with the mice instead of, experimenting on them,
Yep.
Yeah. They should really stop killing animals to write stupid articles. This is how they make money.
Headline again?
Inflamed Brains.
Didn't say nothing about mice till the middle of the article. Ain't that neat?
That, actually, sadly, you can tell Jordan they actually made the mice vape full-size human. So how do they even push the buttons? Their arms aren't long enough to put it must be a group project. Like one of them gets on top of the mod and puts his hand here, and the other mouse is over here, and this one pushes the button down for that one, and they swipe.
They use one of Glance's rubbers.
I don't. Why do you keep bringing up Glance's rubbers, man? I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to help Jordan out. Don't know.
So Chris then asks, and what crops up when you do this? Do you see systemic effects? And she says, yes. So I was very surprised that we found profound changes in the brain, in particular of these mice that inhaled Jewel Mint and Jewel Mango. Those are not even on the market anymore, guys, which are two flavors that were very popular at the time we started this study. And both of those aerosols led to inflammation in the brain.
I think.
Inflammation in the membrane. Inflammation in the brain. Which is shocking because the brain is a protected compartment.
Yes.
What? There's a blood-brain barrier, but nicotine passes quite rapidly through that. So this is very worrisome that inhaling the e-cigarette aerosols for just a month led to very impressive levels of inflammation in a part of the brain that controls mood, behavior, and memory. So you do realize they already admitted they were giving them human doses of nicotine. Right? You got
that. They could.
Right? Yeah.
Have you ever heard scientists say the best we could?
No,
that's a couple of years we have, but
not a real scientist.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my God.
Now, California science is different.
It is different.
So are you saying that it's specifically the flavors that are doing that? So this is an effect beyond addictive qualities of the nicotine and so on?
Mm-hmm.
In the brain, the fact that we saw similar changes in both flavors indicate more that it was the nicotine and other substances at the core of these e-liquids that are driving the changes. But for example, in the heart, we found that the mint flavor really changed and drove inflammation, whereas the mango flavor did not. And so that comparison helped us understand that maybe the heart effects are maybe particularly driven by the mint flavor and not the nicotine and other components.
Did they take into consideration that some of these mice might have been horny and that changed their brains?
Well, they are teenage mice.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
I was never a teenage mouse, but I was a teenage human. And when I was a teenage human, like a good stiff wind would hit you just right. It could, cause inflammation. I'm just saying, you could just be standing there, like looking at nothing in general. And the next thing,
Eddie Murphy.
What?
Eddie Murphy's line. Eddie, come on up here and show the class on the board. I'll take the 0.
Like anything. A teenager, hormones, just saying,
Exactly, Michael. We do not condone mice vaping except for Vlad on Twitter. That's it.
Whatever mice want to do, dude, that's what I'm going to say.
It is so silly.
I barely want to control my own life.
Right.
I literally don't want to control mice's lives or other people's lives.
Yeah, but we don't condone it if they're underage mice. Of age mice, we don't care.
Well, I mean, technically, since it's 21 right now to buy tobacco products, and mice don't really live to be that old.
Right.
I don't think they'll ever be legal. It's like Hawaii. Hawaii wants to eventually raise the smoking age every year to eventually age out everybody except for the people that are 100.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Just saying.
It's all in the wording. It really is.
So, in an attempt to understand harm reduction.
Yeah.
Because that chick on Twitter this week said there's no such thing as tobacco harm reduction.
Right.
I went and I found some organizations' opinions about harm reduction. And we selected 2 of those to talk about tonight. So the first one, this is Kevin's favorite. This is Kevin's favorite organization. When Kevin donates money to charity, is to these people.
The Truth Manipulative. That's right.
So this says Truth Initiative's statement on harm reduction.
This has got to be
I'm scratching my eyebrow for a second.
Fucking thing I've ever read in my life.
Did you actually read it, Kevin?
I did.
I totally did not. I totally did not expect you to actually read it.
No, what I did was I saw what you posted. I clicked on it, which I usually do not because of the show, because I normally want to have a reaction as we go. I then searched on Twitter and found it with about 6 or so people that I knew. And I thought, man, I missed this one completely. I am so utterly disappointed.
This is not new, by the way. This is
This is not new. November last year, I think.
Yeah, this is not new. But I just wanted to see what different health organizations had on their public statements about harm reduction.
I'm going to say the words, speaking of wording, and I'll let you take it from there. What a freaking...
I was in the middle of inhaling, Kevin.
Yes. What a mess.
Are you ready to rumble, boys and girls?
I'm ready. Go on.
There is a contentious and ongoing battle regarding what role the concept of harm reduction should play for smokers who have rejected FDA-approved cessation methods that don't work. We find these alternatives unattractive or simply wish to continue using nicotine. Recently, the term has been seized upon by industry and industry advocates as a proxy for a vision of a lightly regulated market in nicotine products that provides for continued and robust growth of nicotine as a commercial product.
Who are they talking to?
They're trying to brainwash your kids.
Oh my God.
They argue this approach will encourage the development of lower harm alternatives to cigarettes and will therefore improve public health. This same group contends that those who advocate for a more cautious approach are anti-smoker or anti-harm reduction.
Gaslighting. This is called gaslighting.
Yeah, considering what they just set up here, this down here, yeah. Anyway, we reject this narrative for what it is, a cynical attempt by commercial interests to protect and grow their profits. Indeed, tobacco control advocates have long embraced the concept of harm reduction as traditionally understood in public health. Really? I can't think of any. It says that they have long embraced the concept of harm reduction. However, the FCTC will not allow anyone who has ever said anything positive about tobacco harm reduction even remotely appear at their conference. And if you say the word tobacco harm reduction at their conference, they will arrest you and you will never be seen again. There continues to be a spirited debate among bona fide public health advocates. So that means that Kevin and I are not included because we are not bona fide public health advocates as to the impact and potential of e-cigarettes as harm reduction devices. However, we all believe that smokers who will not quit smoking or quit nicotine should have less harmful alternatives. Truth Initiative forcefully rejects, however, the notion that this requires the further development of a huge commercial market in addictive nicotine products focused on growth and the acquisition of new users, most of whom are youth and young adults. Okay, I have to stop because every time these mother truckers use the word young adults.
Yeah. That bothers you?
It makes me mad because if you just remove the word young, you have adults, which means they can make up their own fucking mind. Adult is adult. They are past the age of majority, which means they are no longer a minor and can make decisions for themselves. Now, if you are one of the proponents, if Truth Initiative is one of these proponents that says the adolescent brain, the brain is not fully formed into 25, then I want you motherfuckers to put out a statement tomorrow that says that nobody under the age of 25 can make any fucking legal decisions, cannot be considered an adult, cannot drive, cannot take a bank loan, cannot serve the military, cannot, because you're saying they can't vote for sure, even though these are the same assholes that are trying to get the voter age changed to 15, and that's 10 years away from their brain fully developing, and you want them to exercise the most extreme power that a citizen of this country can have. That is the most powerful thing an American citizen can do, is casting a vote. And you're going to say, that's like handing a 15-year-old a loaded gun, you dumbasses.
Exactly.
Did I just have a seizure, Kevin? I don't.
It was a slow-moving train toward one.
Was I on fire there? Was my brain inflamed?
I think your brain is inflamed.
Was my brain inflamed? Instead, we argue that a genuine harm reduction approach requires a measured and careful deployment of nicotine alternatives that are tightly focused on helping smokers who otherwise would not quit smoking cigarettes. One with science-driven oversight that considers impact on population health. In other words, a regulated harm reduction approach.
Patrick?
I have never said that we don't need any regulations.
I've got the same company, because I'm calling it a company, saying that it's safer than smoking. I love that graphic. Isn't that pretty?
It's too small.
Gaslighting. It's gaslighting. Every bit of it.
It's still too small.
Almost every sentence is a gaslighting phrase, term.
So it says harm reduction strategies, public health versus tobacco industry. Now, I'm sorry if any of you get triggered in the chat room because I'm going to probably say things that they're making statements that say if you are pro tobacco harm reduction, then you are tobacco industry. I am not purposefully referring to you as tobacco industry, as these assholes are doing it. So anyway, let's see, Kevin. Let's just scroll through this real quick. Harm reduction, the principle of providing evidence-based, lower harm alternatives for those who do not quit harmful substances as a proven public health strategy. So we have methadone, we have Narcan, we have seat belts, life preserver, all sorts of harm reduction things that work good. So it says the tobacco industry has been trying to co-opt the term as part of its business strategy to expand its user base and grow the total market for nicotine products. I challenge any. I want these assholes to go through the history of social media, and you find me a tobacco industry vapor product advertisement that says the words harm reduction. I challenge you.
Industry, no.
I just said tobacco industry right there. Find me a fucking advertisement by any tobacco industry company that uses the word harm reduction.
No, gaslighting, I will say, but not that.
Public health strategy, tobacco industry. So what is it? What is it? Careful deployment of alternatives that are tightly focused on helping tobacco users who otherwise would not quit. Tobacco industry.
What we are.
Grow the market for nicotine by introducing new products and appropriating public health language to attract consumers. Who's doing that? I mean, if I was a vapor company and could legally introduce new flavors and new things to market, and I was rightfully trying to help people quit smoking, I would always be looking at ways to innovate.
Correct.
They're making that sound evil, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Who's behind it? So they're saying that public health strategy, public health experts with a public health motive. Mm-hmm. Like Tahir Turk? He's a public health expert? Really?
Right.
And over here they say tobacco companies with a profit motive.
Anybody in the room who's had a shop can say
I'm not fucking
that can say right. That can say you are actively looking for new users who do not smoke, let alone vape. Mark just mentioned one a couple weeks ago we showed, I believe, that did not smoke and wanted to start vaping and the reasons why and all that stuff. Very rarely do I hear that. In fact, I've seen more people say they don't want people that vape or don't smoke to vape, even when they're adults.
I have made a statement myself, Kevin, just because people in the industry that are putting forth a PMTA, they have to prove that their product does not create new use or initiation.
Right.
So,
it's all silly.
That was the lie initiative version of their statement on tobacco harm reduction.
Truth manipulation.
Okay.
Now,
so the new. Let me finish my drink here real quick.
All right. So I just threw in my YouTube's my tweet. Let me see if I have this right. Mid Twitter, I did this today. And you can correct me, Patrick. I encourage you to do so at the end of this. Let me see if I have this right. Harm reduction. Oh, I can read it from here. Harm reduction is a pro-human, no judgment zone approach, allowing anyone a choice to transition to a less harmful option, less risky alternative, which I stole from that very site, on a personal level with reasonable access, without restrictions or opinions. How'd I do? Is that a nutshell? Is that one way to look at it?
No.
It's not great. It's not perfect. It's just off the cuff. But there's adults leaving people alone. Fuck off.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
So, is Mike still here?
Mike, are you here?
I haven't seen Mike.
Next delivery.
So, last Friday, a week ago today, I went to a very large, huge, gigantic vape website, business website, and placed a $200 order for tobacco e-liquids.
Okay.
That commercial tobacco e-liquids, and I paid $20+ for shipping, for expedited shipping.
Uh-oh.
And this is a gigantic vape website.
I think I know where you're from.
That have received their exemption so that they can ship, like they're legal to ship. And I paid. So I placed the order last Friday. I received a confirmation immediately saying, we have received your order. So I was like, okay, I paid for the expedited shipping, what they call the black ship thing. So I have, as of today, not received a shipping notice.
Here we go. Here it comes.
I have not received a tracking number, so I emailed them. I was like, yo, I was very polite, by the way. I didn't say yo. I'm just following up on this order, confirmation number, blah, blah, blah. I paid for expedited shipping because, I at least thought I would have received a tracking number by now.
Yeah.
And about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours later, I receive an email from the customer service of this gigantic business that used to be an independent group, but they are now owned by a large tobacco concern, or partially owned, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, I received an email that said, "Oh, dude," and they didn't say "dude." We're very sorry. We were real busy because of the holiday, but we had instructed that all expedited orders get shipped first, and somehow yours fell through the crack. We're going to refund you your expedited shipping, and ship your stuff out. We're still going to expedite it, but we're giving you your $20-something back for your shipping.
Wow.
And this is what I get.
So far, so good.
Obviously it's still not here, and I still haven't received a fucking tracking number yet, but I got my $28 back or whatever for the.
Yeah.
This is what I get for taking a break from the making my own, like to try some commercial shit, and immediately be disappointed by the fact that you pay extra to try to get stuff and try to I guess I'm just gonna have to rely on my friends. I said to Steve, I said last week, dude, I'm like I've been vaping my own DIY stuff for 2.5 years now, and I just need a palate cleanser. Send me some stuff. I don't care what you send me some stuff. So Steve sent me some O-Face, and he sent me this butterscotch thing, which is really good. I vaped the whole thing. And as long as I hold it up fast enough that you can't read the website off of the bottle, I can't get my channel strike. Yeah. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed that this huge, gigantic vape
kind of like that
site didn't ship my shit.
So it wasn't with X delivery because I was waiting on that punchline.
I don't know. That's why I'm waiting for the tracking number to see how it was going to be shipped.
Because damn it, if it is, I gotta know.
Because I can't sleep on the couch right by the front door like Mike did.
You'll never get it. I think that's what he said. You'll never get it. It's never coming. We don't care.
Just saying, I don't.
You got it. Was that
if
us
it's or X delivery?
Was that our show or his show? I forget.
What? That was my show.
Delivery. That was your
That was
show.
when I broke my leg and I was at home all day. So Mike and I did a couple shows where we were just like, oh well, we're both at home. Let's do a show.
I wasn't sure if it was yours, his.
Yeah, it was ours.
Yeah, look at that.
So, this is the Mayo Clinic. Now they're very reputable, respectable, science-based medical organization.
Well,
they are blooming idiots as well. True,
but can be idiots as well. But
this is a paper that they published on their site.
Yep.
Excuse me. In 2020, actually 2021, and it's called "E-Cigarettes: Harm Reduction and Tobacco Control: A Path Forward?" ?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll read the introduction.
All right.
So there's some abbreviations here. They're giving you acronyms: EVALI, FDA, MRTP, NIH, NRT, PMT. We all know what these are, right? So it's the 34th Surgeon General's report on smoking and health, published in early 2020, prominently noted that prevalence of cigarette smoking amongst U.S. adults had declined from nearly 43% in 1964 to a low of 14% in 2018. This represents the smallest percentage of adult smokers in the United States since just after World War I, a century ago, and has resulted in saving millions of lives and debilitating illnesses. These findings should be cause for celebration of what is, without doubt, one of the greatest public health achievements in the past century. Thank you, vaping. Driven by the collaborative efforts of clinicians, scientists, public health experts, political and policy advocates, and advocacy organizations, the magnitude of progress and the long-term trends of declining smoking prevalence made the demise of cigarette smoking seem almost inevitable. In fact, the 2014 Surgeon General's report suggested we might be entering the era of the tobacco end game, a period of exceedingly low prevalence of adult smoking and little to no uptake of smoking by young adults. Really? Again,
right.
If you get rid of this word, you still are left with adult.
Yep.
Which means they're adults. They can make
it's all in the wording.
Progress, however, may be in danger of stalling instead of celebration and continued collaboration. The tobacco control community finds itself bogged down in an extended conflict, often quite vitriolic, pitting former allies against each other, splitting public health into factions, seeing the same data interpreted differently, and putting future progress in ending the use of combustible tobacco at risk. So we're going to do a little paragraph about harm reduction here. The immediate precipitating factor in this conflict has been the introduction of the e-cigarette in the United States in 2007. The term e-cigarette is in this article refers generically to the multiple electronic nicotine delivery devices that deliver inhaled aerosol by heating liquid, usually containing nicotine. But e-cigarettes are really only representative of the larger concept fueling this debate, the public health approach known as harm reduction. Generally considered to be an approach to risky to behavior that prioritizes minimizing the damage that the behavior of the behavior or from the behavior rather than eliminating the behavior itself. Okay. The concept of harm reduction has long been a pillar of public health practice. Examples include the use of methadone in needle exchanges rather than more daunting task of eliminating intravenous drug use, the use of condoms during sexual activity. Kevin doesn't need those anymore. It's like shooting pool with a piece of rope. Rather than relying on sexual abstinence or the use of helmets and seatbelts, rather than foregoing use of bicycles or cars. In the tobacco control community, however, harm reduction has been interpreted somewhat differently, often pitting committed practitioners against each other, with one side arguing that the only path to eliminate the scourge of combustible tobacco use is abstinence from all forms of tobacco and nicotine, with the possible exception of FDA-approved NRT, whereas the other side argues that it is combusted cigarettes that should be eliminated because they are responsible for the overwhelming portion of damage from tobacco use, and is nonsensical to dismiss less harmful nicotine alternatives by demanding absolute safety. So here's the thing,
There's
boys and girls. No. This is the government. Now, I found a video this week, and it's from like sometime in the 60s. And it is a speech by Ronald Reagan, and it is the myth of the Great Society. Okay. Go to YouTube and type in Reagan, the myth of the Great Society, or just Great Society. You're going to find the link from the Lincoln Library. It is, or not Lincoln, the Reagan Library, the Presidential Library, has its own YouTube channel, and you can watch his old speeches. Watch that fucking speech.
All right.
He's talking about everything other than vaping, and everything that he's talking about is vaping, even though there was no such thing as vaping when he had the speech. It literally, like everything he said, I'm like, he's talking about fewer government regulations and smaller government bureaucracy. Well, that's vaping. It's talking about the government telling people what to do.
That's vaping.
Infringing on their liberty. That's vaping. Oh my! I'm like, I love this man. I mean, I liked Ronald. He was a great speaker. Don't get me wrong. He had great speech writers too, even before he was president. Like, I'm sure he didn't write any of that, but you know, even when he was an actor, somebody was writing all of his words for him. But he used to be a spokesperson for Westinghouse, and when he came back from World War II, he was as liberal as everybody in Hollywood. But he got a job as a spokesperson for Westinghouse, and he went from town to town giving these speeches. And that's how he got into politics. And suddenly now he's a conservative Republican. And you're like, oh.
He was also a Chesterfield cigarette salesman.
Yes.
Well.
Yes, he was.
Just so you know.
And I used to smoke those things.
I don't know if he ever smoked, and I don't care. But he it surprised me when I found that out.
Yeah. I mean, now, though, I mean, when I was a kid, like that put hair on your chest right there. Chesterfields were filterless. Those were kick-ass cigarettes. Picayunes, filterless, Lucky Strikes, Chesterfield filterless, and Camel filterless. All of those were kick-ass cigarettes. Don't get me wrong. I actually, yes, we just said that. Reagan was the guy that did cigarettes.
There's a delay.
Yes. Bastard. I know that you're like in another country and shit. You're probably at a bar drinking a beer right now, listening on your headphones. Because he does that. Be like, oh, I'm at the pub. I'm like, bastard. Bastard's a bastard.
Oh my god.
Yes, he did. He did quit. Jelly beans can help some people. Don't get me wrong. Telly Savalas quit smoking with a lollipop. So,
Patrick, let me ask you a question.
Everybody's different. Whatever works for them. That's great. Shit, what?
He quit smoking by. Okay, I didn't know that. I knew the jelly bean part, but I didn't know it was because of the smoking. I'm going to ask you a question.
What?
You're in front of a patient with someone equal to you, whoever that would be.
There is no one equal to me.
I know that, but let's just pretend for conversation's sake.
Goat.
You and the person next to you are equal in looking at a patient thinking, well, we should do it this way. Now, I'm sure there are more than one way to pick up a patient, put down a patient, administer to a patient. And then I say, or the person with you says, I think I should do it this way. And then you say, well, I think I should do it this way. And then you come to a happy medium.
No,
would you?
Actually, in that situation, when it comes to transfers,
Yeah.
I am the god. Like,
Okay.
I'm
So,
responsible for teaching all the staff how to do it appropriately. There's my way, and then there's the door out of the
back door.
actually.
All right. So then if there's no consensus,
that's a bad example, Kevin. I don't have to meet anyone halfway on that particular
If there's example. You do respiratory. So do you are you administering medicine?
No, I do not do that.
All right, let's just play along with me for a second. Well, so I can get to my point. When you are having the discussion with your coworker, your equal, and you two go, I'm not sure, or one of you says, probably the other person in your instance, Patrick, I think you're right. Right? That's what happens
all the time.
All the time. So let me ask you, in that paragraph that you have, that there's two pitting sides.
Actually, this entire paragraph is full of shit, though, because
we already know that.
They're talking about that combustible cigarettes should be eliminated.
Right.
I don't believe that the government should be telling people
they should not
anything about what to do. I mean, literally, no. This is not your. No, I have my own health insurance that pays my bills. If I didn't have health insurance, I would be treated and I would pay my bill. At no point do I qualify in any way, shape, or form for government intervention in my healthcare costs.
Correct.
So I do not believe that the government has the authority to tell me what to do with my body. As much as I am, and we talked about this on the show, Kevin, I have a particular opinion about abortion, for example.
Sure. Absolutely.
That is my personal opinion, and it is not my place to tell people what to do with their bodies. So therefore, I don't believe the government should have the authority to tell people what to do with their bodies. Now,
this is my law is, if you're not blanking me or feeding me, you have no say. You got those two choices. Right.
I have my own convictions, that I have my own opinions, but again, it is not my place to tell people what to do with their body. And as a vaping advocate, I can't, with a clear conscience, come on this screen and say women shouldn't have an abortion because I feel like I have the authority to tell them what to do with their body.
No.
Because then that completely negates my argument that I should have the authority to make what choices I have with my own body.
So these two pitting practitioners against each other, these two groups, it's not just a couple of guys in
they're there's the SRNT 15, this article was actually written before the SRNT 15. This is a year and 5 months ago or 6 months ago. Yep. So this was before. So there was already a divide that I was not aware of, because I haven't seen anybody other than Dr. Glover and a few other people step outside of the party line and to speak the truth. But
Dr. Gardner.
This article is making it seem like it's a huge divide in the community, and as far as I can tell,
it's likely 99.999%, and then we know who the 1% are.
Yeah.
And for the record, for anybody that doesn't know in the group, that Patrick and I both advocate, in my opinion, for smokers and for vapors.
I just think the government should leave me the fuck alone. If I want to smoke a cigarette, I'll smoke a cigarette. I mean, I don't want to, but if I wanted to, it's not their right to tell me what I can do. Period. You know, it's like if you know, what's that? Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. If you are into sleeping with certain people,
whatever you do,
it's not my fucking job to tell you what to do with your body. Period.
Nope.
Period.
Ain't gonna do it.
If you're a dude that likes dudes, good for you. If you're a lady that likes other ladies, good for you. That's not my business. Period.
Oh, cranky old broad's awake.
I don't know why you would call her that, Kevin.
I know.
I'm trying to make you a better human by making you not use that term. But you still do it.
When you read my resume, you saw the word incorrigible. I don't understand how you do it.
No, incorrigible doesn't mean jerk. I need to buy you a dictionary.
Where's my number here? Here we go.
I gotta buy you a dictionary because you need to know what the word jerk is.
I love her. She knows I love her. And I think I like Mark just a little more, though. Oh, she's been on here for an hour. Dang it. We didn't talk about it yet.
Well, at the top of the show, I did show some artwork.
So she's been on an hour. She missed it anyway. It's okay.
But I did make a 4th of July a happy 4th of July. And actually, it's quite lovely. You know, just I mean, it is. You know, happy late 4th of July to everybody.
She used cranky old Broad in one of her tweets.
Well, she's allowed because she's the object of the insult. She can insult herself, but for you to do it, Kevin, that's not right.
And Scar Baby's crabby old broad.
Well, I don't disagree.
Self-proclaimed. Listen, when there's good night, folks. It's been fun. She self-proclaimed that quite a while back, and I just laughed my ass off about it.
Yeah.
There was a third one too. I can't remember now, but Cranky, Crabby, and Crotchety, I think was the other one. I don't remember who that was.
Well, you're crotchety, I guess.
Oh, maybe it was me. Yeah. I don't know if I'm an old broad.
Crotchety sounds more of a male.
I could pass, I guess.
Well, as a male, yeah, I guess you could.
You're still 21. Be quiet.
So the next thing is nicotine. Further complicating this conflict are differing views of nicotine and its possible role in the elimination of combusted cigarette use. Nicotine is the constituent of tobacco smoke that causes positive reinforcement and dependence on smoking. Nicotine withdrawal during periods of abstinence often drives relapse to smoking during the first few weeks of an attempt to quit. Nicotine replacement NRTs in the form of nicotine patch and nicotine gum were approved in the United States and introduced in the United States in the late 1980s. 3 decades on, although there is no doubt about the efficacy and safety of NRT, it may be underused for treatment by some smokers and healthcare providers because of concerns that it will perpetuate nicotine addiction, or because of misplaced concerns about nicotine itself. I will say that is wrong. The reason why most people don't use NRT is because it is not satisfying.
Correct.
The nicotine patches that are commercially available in the United States are not high enough concentrations of nicotine to do the job that they need to do.
Correct. I think if they were,
I can actually bring up the science on that.
Yes. I think they would actually be better if they doubled it. At a minimum, they need to be doubled. And I never ever thought I would say that. Ever. And now I do.
I bet you $10 if Richard Pruin is still in the chat room in the UK, they have a variety of nicotine strengths in the UK, and you can buy them here online at a higher nicotine concentration than what you can conveniently pick up at the pharmacy or grocery store here in the States. So, but I know that Skip has been using nicotine patches recently to help her. And I know that Richard has mentioned using them on our show. And higher concentrations of nicotine on the patches do actually work better than the current market patch, the one that is. And I think they cut it in half on purpose so that people would buy more. That's the same argument with reduced nicotine cigarettes. Right. People are just gonna smoke more. They're gonna buy more and smoke more. Period.
Well, not only are they going to smoke more, but since they're not addictive, you don't have, allegedly, you don't have to worry about a thing now. That's the message. Right. So mom can smoke, and grandma can smoke, and great grandma can smoke, and you can smoke, and the kids can smoke, and everybody can smoke. There's no addiction. Smoke all you like.
Have all the tar and all of the.
That's the message, though.
The irritants and the cancer causing stuff, but you won't be addicted anymore because you're.
I just can't figure out how they could have thought that that's not the message. I don't understand. I mean, they did all this search on the epidemic word, and they can't figure that. Even if they work, it's still a kid's going to go, well, they're not addictive, so I can do this. Yeah. That's what's. I know what a 17 fucking year old kid's going to think. Are you out of your fucking mind? So it's not the goal to stop smoking. Period. It's not. No.
Oh, now I got to come over here. I got to do something real quick, right? I have to
Skip. I have to do
one of these. I have to do one of these complicated Twitter searches real quick.
All right, Skip. I did tell Patrick earlier that I thought he had pretty eyes. I still don't like him, but you know.
But it's because I do have pretty eyes.
And earlier,
I have beautiful blue Aryan eyes.
Greg put out a tweet about some dumbass politicians being angry and Matt Myers being angry. So above his tweet, I quote tweeted, as I say, and I said, I'm going to title Greg's tweet as Old Men Yell at Clouds. And I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if anybody else did, but I thought it was. Did you find it? What are you doing?
I'm
Pat's a monster. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There it is. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Okay.
What are you doing over there?
I'm looking for a tweet that mentions two different people, and I couldn't remember what the other person's handle was. I knew their name, but I couldn't remember their handle.
I can't, yeah. It's not fun to look for you sometimes. You do come up on the auto search now. I put NAC, and you usually pop right up. I don't know why you would do that. So higher nicotine strengths are safe. I have an article that I found that said that.
Well, not only are they safe, but they're more efficacious.
Yes. And what Patrick was saying, I'm going to roll on that while you're searching, while I can, is that if I knew then what I know now, I'd have tried 2 patches before I'd have tried vaping, if I'd have known it before vaping ever came out. And instead, I went with the highest strength, had a sore shoulder. It was a pain in the ass. It hurt like hell. And I'm like, what is wrong with this shit? And then after 2 weeks, which is the longest I ever went since I was 9 years old, was like, ba-bam. And then I found vaping accidentally. Just that's the way it went. So I would highly recommend it.
I was actually, somebody said something in the chat room, and there was question as to who was the bastard.
Who was the bastard?
Who is the bastard?
Or who is? Okay.
Yeah, who is? So I actually had to go back to the tweet that he was referencing.
Uh-oh.
So let's see if we are accurate here. He says, so I was basically insulting flat billed neckbeard. And Matt says that his furry neck is offended. And I said, get a razor or some Nair.
Yeah.
And he says, I bend my bills. He says, and I've had COVID for over a week, let my face hair go. I said, my wife has wax and these strips. You can remove the fuzz. Let me know. I'll gladly come up to help. And I'll bring a camera so we can feel it. And he said, no, my ex waxed my chest once. He gave me a horrible rash. And I said, your neck is not your chest. Probably won't be the same.
Oh.
And then Snidely Whiplash says, all this goes to show how evil I am. Then I have a little cartoon of me as a monster. So now I'm of the opinion that Snidely Whiplash is the bastard.
Aha, but I think there's a bastard following me as well. So I'm not sure. I'd have to find that out.
Well, he's the only other person in this chat room. And he said, hello, yes. So we have now unmasked.
We've doxed him.
now we know that the bastard is Snidely Whiplash.
I still don't know who the bastard is. And Ed's out of the home again. They let him loose. Here he comes.
No, they call that absent without leave. He's not AWOL.
AWOL.
So in our memory care units, we actually have a binder with a current photograph of every resident. So if they wander off the facility, because we actually had a resident from our memory care unit, when nobody was looking, the electronic door opened.
Oh.
Like a delivery person was dropping something off and didn't notice. And this little old lady snuck out and got on a bus and was on the other side of town.
Oh my gosh.
So now we have when we have to call the popo because one of the I mean legally we can't restrain them. We're not allowed to prevent them.
Correct.
I mean, we have locked doors, but if they get out,
they're adults. Yeah.
I mean, they're demented adults, but I mean, literally we can't restrain them. So we have a binder so that when we call 911 and the cops show up, we say, this is what the old lady that just ran away looks like.
Yeah. Patrick
Her
did
kids,
it again.
I love letting them out, man.
She couldn't stand you. Was it one of Patrick's patients? Oh, that makes sense.
So Amanda says that she doesn't think that Bastard or Snidely Whiplash is his real legal name. Well,
I know nothing. That's all I know.
For the first few years that I was in this vaping thing, we all had nicknames. We were all internet people that we, none of we chat room people, and we all had internet handles.
Yeah.
We did not have, and Alex Clark is like, dude, you really should put your real name on your business cards. I'm like, okay, fine. So e-cigarettes. This is still according to the Mayo Clinic, by the way. When e-cigarettes first became widely available in the United States approximately a decade ago, they were welcomed by some as a useful addition to the... I don't remember that ever being true.
Nope.
The FDA tried to lock us down immediately. I remember that shit. I was here. Others argue that e-cigarettes were an unknown entity. We don't know what's in them. They have heavy metals. There's cadmium and all sorts of stuff. Both in terms of safety and effectiveness, and should be put aside until more scientific evidence became available. Science to date including thousands of e-cigarette focused papers and 2 major government-sponsored reviews in the United States and the United Kingdom, suggests that e-cigarettes are, in general, less harmful than combusted cigarettes and may be more useful at helping smokers quit than existing NRT replacement products. There's no may. But anyway, importantly, and in contrast to the evidence for NRT, the long-term effects of e-cigarette use remain unknown owing to their relatively recent introduction. So here's the thing. There are no, if you use the patch, there is not really, I mean, some people get like skin irritation around the patch site. But again, they're not satisfying, and the currently available products have not been innovated since they were introduced. There has been no great leap forward on the NRT, on the patch, the gum. Those things are literally the same product. I mean, obviously, they've changed some flavors. They've added some flavors recently. You know, they're marketing flavors to adults, but not to kids for somehow.
It's none of our concern.
But, and again, every time I see somebody in our space post a picture of a flavored vodka, it just makes me immediately want to throw something at them.
I've done it.
I know you have. And I've wanted to throw something heavy at you.
I'm sure early on I can probably,
because
I would
you
say
sound like a petulant child whose parents say that the older kid can do something that you can't.
Whatever that girl is.
Yeah. But you let Big Billy do it. That's what it sounds like to me every time I see that. And I'm like, you do realize that they fought their own battles for over 100 years. At one point, they were forced off the market by an amendment, a constitutional amendment.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've done the work. They've spent the millions and millions and millions of dollars lobbying Congress, because that's how you change politics. That's how I mean, we may not like that's the game, but that is the fucking game. If you want to, you know, influence policy, you better put millions of dollars out in front of you and say, here, do what I want you to do, because that's how politics work. And every time somebody's tried to pass the hat around to do that in a effective way, everybody hides their fucking checkbook. So,
and they wanted their name on the hat.
Yes, there was that too.
Boy, my neck hurts.
Have you been? I mean, what have you been doing over there, given that your neck hurts? Just saying.
I alluded to liking you earlier, Patrick. Don't push your luck. Skip even said "aw" or something.
Skip's like an hour behind. She says that McGruff tweeted about vaping. Yes, I know, dear. We read the entire article.
McGruff. I saw it and I thought, well, looky there. Here it is. There you go. Do what you do.
Kevin and I both had a senior moment and could not remember what McGruff's catchphrase was. Luckily, Big Knowledge was able to step in and say, take a bite out of crime, because neither one of us could remember that shit.
Just rolling on it, you're strutting around and saying, take a bite out of crime. That's what you do.
Yeah, but I had already drop kicked him a couple times, and he's down some points, man.
I know, really, because you know him, he's smarter, and that's why. I know.
Smarter than what?
Smarter than me.
That's true.
There you go.
Now I'm going to scroll down here and see if there's a conclusion.
Is there one, really? Honestly,
I found it.
I
found it. Here's the conclusion.
All right.
So it says here, this discussion raises many questions, the most crucial of which is, can the current divide in the tobacco control field be broached even partially? It would be naive to think that by simply following the path suggested in this commentary, this could be accomplished. Yet, to do nothing To simply accept the status quo is irresponsible and, without a doubt, damaging to public health. Consider that in the few minutes it took to review the points of it. I think we've done more than a few minutes on this. I think we spent a good bit. I'm just saying. Anyway, approximately 25 Americans and 300 people worldwide died of complications arising from their use of combusted cigarettes or tobacco. This is a toll that should be unacceptable to all of us, no matter where one stands on the issues presented here. We should not and cannot continue to engage in the divisive and shameful conflict that the e-cigarette era has visited upon tobacco control community. The lives of too many people are at stake. We can and must do better and move on to the combusted tobacco end game. So
they were walking a very tight rope. They really were.
They actually were. They did say that tobacco harm reduction is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
They said
only the way we want it to be said.
We need to be less divisive and more welcoming to other opinions.
Yeah.
So this was way less negative than the truth piece on harm reduction, Kevin.
It seems still like an opinion piece, really, more than anything.
Well,
but
it was a discussion. They preferred to use the word discussion.
Yeah, it's welcoming, but they themselves have to stand up too. That's all. Completely, all the way.
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up.
When Dr. Glover gets ousted, and Dr. Siegel 15 or 20 or whatever it was years ago gets, you're banished and out the fucking door, and he does what he does no matter what. Dr. Sattel, Dr. Gardner, and the few that we can name, none are less important. They're just not being mentioned momentarily. You know who they are talking and fighting literally just like we are,
Are we fighting, Kevin?
Well, we're rooting more than fighting, I think, now.
Oh. Okay, so you decided to bring this one up, Kevin. You sent this tweet to me.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm putting this all on you.
I forget what it is. I don't even know. You surprised me. So listen to me now. I see it. I don't know who said something. Somebody, of course, it hits my feed, and I'm like, "What the hell?" It's another one. And then you got to go up or down or whatever you got to do.
Well, I'm first.
You can Google all you like, or
So
Ogle, not Google. Ogle.
I am ogling. Are there ladies present in the chat room? Yes, there are some ladies. Okay, so ladies, get a drink. Why are these? What is this? The purpose of these straps down here?
No idea. I don't know.
I literally don't understand what this is for.
Mallory, have you ever watched?
I would assume that this would be uncomfortable to swim in.
Did I screenshot this or did you go to the tweet?
I went to the tweet.
See, you didn't get did I give you the screenshot?
Yes, I know. I know where I'm going.
Oh, so you're trying to push this off on me that I gave you this part of it. Okay, all right. I was making sure.
You started the conversation here. So there are people. So the New York Post have an article about this young lady here.
Reputable brag, by the way. Jesus Christ.
And I just wanted to make it bigger.
Yeah, I was going to say you made it bigger. Waist beads, who knows?
So
I don't know. I don't know what that's about.
There's a picture of a chest X-ray here.
Yeah.
And there's some infiltrate here. There's some stuff here, and you can see this lung is not collapsed, not fully. It's not fully expanded either. So
and you're medically trained for
this shadow here, because of the low quality of the photograph, could be could be fluid, actually, in the lung right here.
Why is it a sideways screenshot anyway? So yeah,
It's chueco. It's crooked. Plus,
That's
it's
weird.
not.
yeah,
It's not quite focused. So I don't see a collapsed lung, because if this was collapsed, this black would not be black. You would, and you would not clearly see the definition of the shape of the lung.
I just, along with
So
this,
none of this looks scary. Now, again, there's a white spot right here.
Yeah.
Right there.
yeah,
Which could be just an artifact of a poor quality photograph. But
it might
that
be.
actually is a spot on her lung.
We don't even know if it's her damn lung.
We don't.
Either way.
But okay, so
Crazy
here's an Instagram picture right here of her with her glasses on, and she's winking to people, and it says, "Thank you so much all for your well wishes. It means a lot. The surgery went well, and now I'm in bed rest with a tube in my lung. It's super painful, but the worst part is over." So she had, like I said, there was fluid on her lung right here. Boom. The only reason that you would put a chest tube in would be to suck that out and reinflate. But again, this is not collapsed. This is not a picture of a collapsed lung.
So this is already.
There's some infiltrate going on here, over here. There's some fluid here. That's what this denser white stuff is. But there's some inflammation.
Based on your professional opinion, this is bullshit.
This picture is bullshit.
Right.
The face that she's seeing right here, nobody that I have ever treated with a chest tube has a happy face on like this picture over here.
No.
And she says, "My whole left lung collapsed." And this is Grace Johanna.
You can make our audience question why we've had this photo up so long.
I'm showing you all of the different points of argument. I'm focusing here. Didn't you see my mouse is moving over her face right here?
And her crazy eyes below the Karenitis thing she's got going on.
This down here, I just said, I just mentioned my whole, and it says Grace Johanna right there. She looks like one of the daughters from the Roseanne Barr show, actually.
It looks like a younger Aaron to me.
Aaron never looked like this.
You're right. It does look like the girl from Mercy.
But this face does not look like this face.
Well,
and this.
She's not swimming in the other face. But
the cheekbones look different. And I know that she's got a downcast and she's at an angle, but her nose doesn't look the same. This does not look. Well, but this is, this could just be lighting.
All right, let's get to the point. Because it was, well, not that Edward is unimportant in his comment, but it was funny.
So Edward says, yet in TikTok, she seems rather comfortable and in no pain. Maybe the New York Post should investigate what she was vaping, since she said vaping did not directly cause this. The second collapsed lung after she supposedly quit vaping also. I'm sure you felt blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you don't even have to go.
Tobacco Maestro says, wonder what she was vaping. And Red Sox 143 says, silicone.
That's like the tweet of the year. There's no doubt in my mind that was the tweet of the year so far. Period.
So,
oh my God.
The funny thing is when I had this over, Phil says, this is the rodent Phil, says, my favorite reply. And then Edward says, yep, I saw. I'm thinking the bikini pic was what they wanted everyone to see. And then Richard, who was just in the chat room, yep, I wonder how that went. A pic of you doing the googly eyes. Great. Do you have one of you wearing as little as possible? Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see the positive, but the news would, and like I said, we had it up on the screen for, there it is. So any of the men that are so inclined, I bet you $10 would agree that even though this has a bunch of superfluous straps, that this is still an attractive photograph, right?
Well, she's vaping silicone, of course. I'm apologizing to all the ladies.
Hey, I'm a healthy old man. I'm not gonna lie. If there's a woman in a red bikini with a nice rack, I'm gonna look at it for a minute.
Oh, Lord. As long as I don't see Phil or Demetrius in one of those, we're good.
I have Photoshop. And I do have enough reference material of Phil that I could make that happen.
Oh my God. Well, not that I would suggest it, but there you go.
You did, though. You're the one that sent that to me, and I just I blame you. You're the one that sent me that. I had not even seen that tweet until you sent it to me.
I just went from idiotic mad to giggles because he said silicone.
Wonder what she was vaping. Silicone.
I could not send it to you. I don't even think I sent you the tweet.
You did.
Oh, Christ. Oh.
All right. Let's just do one more thing.
Let's get serious now. Oh, my God. Those are my parting thoughts. Silicone.
Silicone.
Jesus.
Let's see. I'm scrolling.
Trolling and trolling. All right.
Roll. Oh,
I need coffee.
That's a good song, actually. It's only, part of the song that's actually not a good song, but it's definitely not Motorhead.
No.
Yeah. So when Kevin popped in, I was playing Motorhead, and it was "I'm So Bad, Baby, I Don't Care." And he was like, "What is that?"
I knew what it was.
What is that? This is awesome. What?
Where are you? Where are we?
I'm just looking at something real quick. What were you going to say?
No, you were playing Motorhead. I knew that.
Well, yeah, I was killing time while I was looking for something because you were, you were allowing me to have dead air, which I can't.
I got silicone on the brain. I can't help myself. That's all. That's all I got.
Really? Yeah. All right.
It was lighthearted in the middle of all the stupidity of the week.
I mean, I think we've covered a lot of stupidity.
We did a lot of it. Well, I don't think there's a week that's gone by that we haven't had stupidity.
Well, no, I mean, but anytime you're here, we have some.
Yeah, and hey, I don't know. I don't think I sent it to you, but somebody's putting more vape detectors somewhere in the United States.
Yes, you sent me another high school talking about vape detector, and I was just like, we've done a vape detector story like every week for like ever.
Yeah.
So
no children were harmed.
Fine. This is the actual New York Post piece.
All right.
So it says my lung spontaneously collapsed after vaping.
Do they ever not spontaneous? Is it slow usually?
So
You're
again,
guy.
What? I'm not a respiratory therapist. I actually have a real degree.
Well, no, I mean, whatever it is you have, I don't care.
No, somebody was offended. I think it was Mowgli was offended last week when I said that the respiratory therapy was a 2-year degree.
Oh, see, now shaming people. Answer the question. If my lung collapses, is it spontaneous? Is it never not spontaneous? It just...
Oh, no. I mean, obviously, it could be a crushing injury. It could be...
slow, subtle, right? I'm assuming?
Well, no. Spontaneous means without cause.
Okay. I thought spontaneous meant immediate.
No.
Depending on the direction that you're talking about, I guess.
Yeah. Unplanned would be another version of spontaneous.
Steve, I'm not going to answer that question. Under the grounds it may incriminate.
Jesus Christ was a spontaneous pregnancy.
Okay.
Without cause. So
All
the
right.
word spontaneous means without cause.
All right.
So how can they possibly use the word spontaneous and then immediately say that it was vaping?
Okay.
So it would no longer be spontaneous. It would be my lung collapsed after vaping.
For a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I try, Mallory.
Do I absolutely need to go over to Google and type in spontaneous?
Oh.
Spontaneous.
Oh.
Spontaneous. There. So performed or occurring as a result of a sudden inner impulse or inclination without premeditation or external stimulus. Unplanned. Occurring without apparent external cause.
Okay.
Spontaneous miscarriage. So, yes,
combustion.
unplanned.
Unplanned combustion. All right.
Yes. Spontaneous human combustion means without cause.
Every time I read a tobacco-free kid's tweet, I spontaneously combust. There you go. Okay.
So anyway, and just like that, life as she knew it went up in smoke. A 23-year-old woman has issued a startling warning against vaping after being rushed to the hospital with a collapsed lung. Grace Brazel, who detailed her terrifying story on TikTok, woke up one morning with rib pain while coughing up blood. Upon getting an x-ray, her doctor freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors oftentimes freak out.
Yeah.
After seeing one of Brazel's lungs had collapsed. Treatment, she continued, involves shoving a plastic tube into her lungs to suck fluid out, which she described as the most excruciating pain she ever endured. It actually is not fun. I would caution people to have that done. Yes, it is a very hard, rigid plastic, and it's cut at a bias. So it is instead of cutting flat, it's cut like a spear tip, and you literally count for the right rib space, and you shove it in between the ribs until you hit the lung. Those are fun. In the clip taken in her hospital bed, she explains how the health emergency could have killed her. Now you can live with one lung. That's not true.
I don't want to watch this.
I'm not going to either.
Good.
Now her warning, please stop vaping, has garnered more than 4 million views. This didn't happen directly because of vaping, but the vaping could have killed me, she noted in the comments. While she might have thought she was out of the woods post-hospital visit, a recent clip from Wednesday night showed Brazel back in the hospital after her lung collapsed a second time.
Jesus Christ.
Now, does this look like somebody that's afraid for her life?
Yeah, I don't think it is. Honestly, no. No.
I'm just messing with you, Mowgli. I know you weren't offended. This does not look like she's upset. And for a moment there, I thought this was a nipple. Really did. Just saying. I know it's not in the right place. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh
God.
She had a nip slip there.
She sorry, posted I sent this tweet.
You sent this, mother trucker. I know. We're gonna play this game out because you made it happen.
Silicone. They could have found this. But we're here to inform.
She posted an update on her Instagram story following surgery, saying she's now on bed rest with a tube in her lung and that it's super painful. Yeah. So a collapsed lung, also called a pneumothorax, occurs when air leaks into the space between your lung and chest wall, per the Mayo Clinic, which then pushes on your lung. While it could be caused by a chest injury, medical procedures, or lung diseases, sometimes it has no explicit cause. It does spontaneously occur. That's why it's called a spontaneous pneumothorax. It's right there. Primary spontaneous pneumothorax. So literally, it could be caused by she had to fart and she held it in, or Mowgli said that she was combusted. Maybe somebody was hyper aggressive on the back end action and pumped a lot of extra air in. Nobody knows. Just saying. Man, I've been really explicit tonight. I have to be careful. First, I said somebody needed a little bit of extra special chocolate. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm talking about this.
That's so scary. Glad you were able to see a doctor. Jesus.
She got a diagnosis of basically idiopathic, which means we don't know why.
So we really don't know.
No.
But we're going to blame it on the vaping.
It's not super common that people have a spontaneous pneumothorax. Most of the time when somebody has a collapsed lung, it's because of a piercing injury, like, say, a gunshot wound that nicks the lung and lets the air out.
I had an uncle that had a
crushing injuries occur.
Right. For no reason he had one, but yeah, it's pretty.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
So what is? Yeah. It's wild to me. Smoking was probably becoming uncool, and then they hit the Gen Z with vaping. Noted somebody. Again, this does not look like she's having super pain here.
Wink, wink.
Oh, there. Yeah. Hello.
So you could get like a hospital gown and just sit in your bed and put a little teddy bear beside you and, get all the attention you like, right?
How you doing?
Yeah. Joey.
Oh, vaping has been linked to high blood sugar, diabetes, and even increased risk of eating disorders among college students. So last week it was GERD, diabetes. Now this is eating disorders. We're going to throw in brain inflammation. According to Johns Hopkins, not only are vaping products just as addictive as traditional cigarettes, but they're not safe either. The user might be exposed to less toxic chemicals than a cigarette, but the long-term effects of vaping chemicals are undetermined as more serious causes or cases of health complications emerge.
Of course. Well, she looks all better now. Stop it. Scroll. Good Lord.
Okay, so we wasted time on that now. All right.
That's so sad.
But you did that, Kevin. I just wanted to punish you for that.
I've already apologized.
I don't understand why you're so upset about looking at a pretty blonde girl with a red bikini on.
Good Lord.
I don't, I
It's
don't get why you're so offended by that.
More the idiocy than anything.
Yeah, but you can ignore what's coming out of her mouth while you're. Never mind.
Amanda.
Amanda. She's gone. She ran away.
Mrs. Wheeler. I can't find the tweet.
She needs to send me a bottle of that butterscotch tobacco that she has. That's what
of the folks in the vaping sphere, she's one of them I admire.
Like a big one.
Huh? The what?
She has a butterscotch tobacco. I said she needs to send me a big bottle of that.
I believe you.
In 12 milligrams. Just say it.
Jim,
as a friend, then she can send it to me in the mail. She just can't use her business,
Well, hang on. Let me get my thing set up here.
Are you going to do something, Kevin?
So,
I'm waiting.
What?
Are you going to share screen or something?
Screen here. Victor share screen. The reason that I found this article And then the subsequent tweet of the silicone, which made me
My
laugh
buddy's
my
going
ass
to
off.
shoot you, Kevin.
Oh, is that a rabbit or a squirrel? Which
It's
is
a rabbit. It's a rabbit.
It's a rabbit. Let me find my share screen. I got to choose it, and I got to make this palatable
ahead,
for
Punk.
you.
Make my day.
Huh?
Is there a red bikini on it?
There is. You're going to get see again because of it.
I like
the
red
reason
bikinis.
I found this because in my scrolling of the day, Jim says if you ever vaped, everything that happened to you happens after vaping. Amanda said, this has so much potential as a running joke. After vaping, I took a family trip to Mexico. So I
got Montezuma's revenge after vaping.
Right. So I'll just go with the latest because you can search tweets for the top or the latest. The latest, I just put after vaping, I realized FDA tobacco and the commissioner prefer cowering to political pressure instead of putting we the people's choice, health, and best interests first. And there were a few. I did a couple. Nova Scotia Live. My head we're talking about inflammation of the brain.
Yeah.
His head spontaneously, his or her, I don't know, spontaneously exploded after reading this bullshit article, and I could have died. Even worse, after vaping for almost a decade, my boobs still don't look like that. What am I doing wrong? So
silicone.
Some chucklehead. Yeah, some chucklehead. Before vaping, I drank and smoked at the bar at the same time and was happy. After vaping, I advocated for 12 years, shaking the hand of one legislator that didn't lie to my face, and the one guy that didn't lie to me told me we were screwed. Among other things, Phil, before I thought tobacco control was misguided, after I thought they were evil. And that's all of you in tobacco control except the people we like. That's not X-Delivery. There's some chucklehead again. I no longer trust experts. Mrs. Aylward, I'm not sure how long she's been on. Came across my eye, followed her a little while back. I rage tweeted at the people who are trying to make me smoke disgusting cigarettes again. So there were a few. Pirate, after vaping, my pickup truck suffered a flat tire. Among other things, I was trying to get that to go, throughout the community, and it didn't do it anyway, and that's okay. But I thought it was funny that there was a gym.
You just need to what's the word? You just having something go viral is hard, Kevin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I didn't think viral. I thought we'd have a little motion going for it though. But it wasn't as much as I thought. I thought it was hilarious either way. After vaping, that sounded good.
After vaping,
not
I
about
had
health,
to take a shit.
What? What did you say?
After vaping, I had to go to the bathroom.
And
it must be a diuretic.
Oh.
Yeah, I came home and I sat down here, and while I was setting up my show, I turned on the original Red Dawn, not the crappy remake that they did a few years ago, but the original. And I'm only like a quarter of the way through. So later I'm going to...
Patrick Swayze,
we're done.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, but there's a really cool scene. There's a really cool scene where after they run away, the kids sneak back into town and they find out that their parents are all in the re-education camp.
Yes.
Yes, sir. The Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen, the other brother, are supposed to be brothers.
Oh, yeah, Sheen's in them.
And they go to the fence of the education center, and one of the guys that's at the fence goes and gets their dad, and he comes back because he's been captured because he's their dad, and he knows that they're going to be killed, that he's going to get killed, and he says, "Boys, avenge me!" So that's what we're doing. Is we are the Red Dawn kids, and we're avenging all of the people that have died since 2007 when vaping came to be.
To America.
The government has lied to and that have died from smoking-related illness So
there you go.
that is a very powerful scene when the dad is telling the boys, go get away from here because they're going to kill me. And I want you to come back and beat the fuck out of these guys and kill them and avenge me, because that's what we're doing, is we're avenging all of the smokers that could have quit smoking with vaping but didn't because these assholes have been lying for a decade.
At least.
That was a really weird way to get to that point, but it is a good movie.
Yeah.
Like I said, way better than the crappy remake that they just did a few years ago. Just saying.
Yeah.
If you have 2 hours, watch the original. Plus, the very hot and attractive Leah Thompson is in that. And Jennifer Grey, when she had the big nose, was still hotter. Was still hotter than she is now after the facial surgery. I'm sorry, I just she had character before. She was also Baby in Dirty Dancing with Patrick Swayze.
Nobody puts Baby in the corner.
Nobody puts Baby in the corner. She was also Ferris Bueller's mean-ass sister in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Then she seemed to disappear.
But she was married to somebody famous, I think, or she is married to somebody famous. But
I don't know.
You know who I'm really jealous of, Kevin?
I don't know. I'm scared to ask.
And Steve said Harry Dean Stanton just passed away recently. The last time I remember seeing Harry Dean Stanton was in the Avengers. There's a scene where the Incredible Hulk jumps and he crashes through and he passes out, and when he wakes up he's Bruce Banner again, and Harry Dean Stanton's there, and he asks him if he's an alien, and he says no. He says, well, boy, you got a condition, because he came through the ceiling as a big giant thing. Anyway, what were you asking me?
If I liked you again yet or not?
No, there was somebody.
Somebody.
Oh, who I'm jealous of.
Oh.
So if you've ever seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
yep,
there is an iconic red swimsuit scene.
Yes.
With Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe Cates, yep.
And Phoebe Cates was or is married to Kevin Kline. The actor Kevin Kline, who played in a bunch of movies, but he played in... Well, because she stayed at home and she did her wifely duty.
Jesus Christ. Good night, folks. I'm not even going for that one.
I'm extremely jealous of Kevin Kline.
All right, there you go. When you say wifely and you say duties in the same sentence, you are taking your own life in your own hands. I will not condone that.
I completely support a woman's right to make whatever choice that she makes. And if she chose...
As do I. Don't turn this all around on me. Buddy. No. Skip, where's Skip? She went to sleep, didn't she?
If she chose to give up her career to stay home and be a pregnant wife and cook dinner and do laundry, then that's her choice, Kevin.
I'll tell you, that was my dad's vision, because he would stand in the corner where the pot was and he would say, make me some coffee. And one day I said to him, it's behind your ass. And that didn't go well, but I didn't like my mother, and I stood up for that. I mean, what are you doing?
2 points on the coffee.
Jesus Christ.
I actually make better coffee than my wife, so I would never do that.
Well,
and B,
that's your opinion.
If I were if I were to say, wife, make me coffee,
wife, she'd smack you.
The coffee cup would fly through the head and hit me in the.
There you go.
But yes, if I'm making coffee, because I don't make the pot coffee or the machine coffee. I actually do pour over or French press.
Yeah.
Which is superior to most coffee maker coffee.
You're dangerous.
Then she will ask me, "Did you make me some too?"
Janice has made me coffee this way. 1, I had surgery and couldn't get out of bed for a few days, a couple times. 2, honey, before you wake me up or make sure I'm awake, can you just turn it on? That's it. She's never made coffee otherwise, ever. 30 plus years.
Yeah. Well, she may not. I mean, like I said, my wife makes the coffee in the coffee machine,
and she thinks it's coffee. Right.
And,
I understand.
And I have the
But
pour over coffee or the French press machine.
But it would never be her place in the sense of the word to be in the kitchen to make the coffee for you.
Well, she is the woman.
You're a brave man. Because she's sound asleep, right? Because nothing's come through the window yet.
She may not be asleep, but she's never going to watch this show. So,
yeah. I on occasion tell Janice how lucky she is, and she doesn't believe me. But eventually, she might. That's it.
Yeah, she's never going to watch this show. She doesn't give a shit about this.
Janice
like, are you gonna go play with your little friends tonight?
Oh, she's divorced. Somebody said somebody's divorced.
Yes, Mowgli said that he did Bastard said that he did a.
Stevie Nicks has never returned my calls. Demi's never returned my calls. I mean, so
Demi would hurt you, man.
Demi Moore would hurt me.
Have you seen her with her clothes off?
No.
She is ripped. Like she's even now. Like I saw her recently. Like and when they did she was in Charlie's Angels, one of the Charlie's Angels movies as the villain.
Yeah,
like 10, 20 years ago now. She was super fit in that, but she has bigger deltoids than you do.
Oh, all right.
Okay. So yeah, she would put a hurting on you. I think she'd break something off.
I'm still holding out for Marilyn, the 81-year-old lady, wherever that lady lives.
When I pass away, I'm going to be married to Betty White in heaven.
Is it Betty White? All right.
Oh man, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And funny.
Well, that's the awesome thing,
She's funny. Funny.
Any woman that can make you laugh, that's immediately sexy.
Exactly.
So, anywho, Kevin, how do you want to say goodbye to our friends tonight?
I want them to realize that I only had one intent for that funny ass tweet, no other intent.
Why are you hiding from the healthy urges of a senior citizen man?
Senior citizen. I got about 4 or 5 months for that. I'm almost 55. See?
You qualify for the
Oakley marks on the calendar.
The AARP card.
I got that like 3 years ago. I got the application. And my nephew tried sending me a fake one, which was hilarious because he's an idiot. And he never watches the show either, but he's still an idiot for that. But he tried pretending he was the AARP. So Mowgli said he marks on the calendar whose turn it is. So that's fair. But if she doesn't drink
if I tried to make it democratic like that, she would just draw through her name on the calendar every time.
Janice doesn't drink coffee. She has no interest in it. She has no interest in tea. She doesn't care. She doesn't like the smell. Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
my wife did not drink coffee when we initially got married. She would every once in a while have Starbucks or something like that.
Yeah,
but
to appease
I was drinking this coffee called Death Wish coffee.
Yep.
That is supposedly the highest caffeine content of
they
coffee
should sponsor us
on the market.
They really should.
And they have a special blend that is called the Odin Force Valhalla Java blend.
Okay. Never heard of it.
because it has Odin in it and Valhalla in it. I feel like I needed to have it, so I've been drinking.
At your age, you should, yes.
Ever. And there was one morning about 4 or 5 years ago. She was running late.
Yeah.
I had the day off, so I was making coffee. And as she walked through the kitchen, she grabbed toast and a cup of coffee, and out the door she went to get in the car to go to work.
Oh, boy.
And she works 12-hour shifts, my wife.
Yep.
She's a nurse. They work 12-hour shifts. So she comes in at like 8 o'clock at night. She's been gone for 13 hours because she's the charge nurse. Sometimes during shift change, she's always an hour late.
Yeah.
So she comes in, and I shit you not. Have you ever seen the movie Hoodwinked?
No.
So Hoodwinked is an animated movie that is sort of a modernization of Red Riding Hood.
Okay.
And in this movie, Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf are like detectives, and they have this character that is a little squirrel that is the photographer, like they're private investigator. Anyway, so the entire film, the squirrel is like, you can't understand a word that he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give him coffee, and then he actually slows down and talks like a dapper gentleman, very, But my wife, on the other hand, was like Speedy Gonzalez. She came in the back door of the house. She was like, the girls asked me today what drugs I was on because I was talking so fast and I'm full of energy. I was so good. I got all my work done.
What did your husband give you?
So the next morning she wakes up, and I am not joking. She's like this.
Oh, yeah. Crashed. Yeah.
Coffee. So now she's addicted. So the first cup was free.
Yeah. Come on back.
Now Death Wish Coffee sends me 10 pounds of coffee beans every 30 days.
Damn. Tell them they should sponsor the show.
I drink 32 ounces of coffee every morning or every day.
Yeah.
No, it's not X-rated Bakshi style animation, you dirty old man.
I don't even know what Bakshi means.
Ralph Bakshi he did rotoscoping. Like he's done some. He did a movie called Cool World, which was kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where it had live action with cartoon characters drawn in.
Right.
But he did one of the Lord of the Rings animated movies and The Hobbit.
Okay.
Where he did Fritz the Cat, which was, but he's done animated movies, but he does rotoscoping where it's actually they shoot actors in costume and then they will draw over the negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yes, Fritz the Cat is a dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty.
Thanks for hanging, Robin, after all that mess.
He did not do heavy metal. He may have done a segment of heavy metal, but I don't think he did at all. I think that
I did see heavy metal. I guess I can't say I've never seen an animated one because I did see that.
Yeah.
Love the soundtrack. Can't tell you a thing about the movie anymore.
Yeah,
I may have or may not have been high, but yeah. My final thoughts are that we keep yelling and screaming and stomping and wheezing, and we do a lot less of that because of our lungs being better. Fritz the Stoner Cat.
Yes. Let's see. I'm reading. I want to verify this before we go that whether Bakshi actually did a segment or not.
And while we're waiting on Patrick,
there's like 10 segments.
To quit playing. Keep an eye every time you read something. Every
once in a while we have to differentiate. We have to deviate off of the road, and obviously as a self-professed nerd.
Yeah.
No, he did
good
not.
At that.
He did not. I was right.
Did not.
No, the soundtrack to that film is awesome.
Yeah.
Still
is.
Blue Oyster Cult's on there. Sammy Hagar, Cheap Trick. Even Devo has a song on there.
I forgot. Yes, they do.
Yes,
I don't.
Journey.
Yeah.
Black
I don't
Sabbath.
remember them all. Sabbath, yeah. Yeah. Remember, you're being gaslighted. Tell others they're being gaslighted. Multiple levels of gaslighting lately that you can point toward and at and near and go, well, you see this? That's what we've been dealing with.
Yeah.
Lots of that, sadly. And people who are afraid to speak up, or I honestly think there are some in tobacco control specifically who may not know any better and they're just told what to do and they do that. So on occasion, I will back off a tweet because I just really don't think they know any better, And then there's idiots, and we know who they are. So I want us to be as unidiotic as possible and educated, and that's why we're here.
Now, this has nothing to do with anything, but this is one of those things that's on the side of your screen on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I just saw this picture. Now, if you were to see this picture of these two women looking at each other, what would you think?
They're sisters. I don't know.
Oh, see, my mind went right to the gutter. I thought this was like a couple, but it's a mom and her daughter, which is really creepy.
Okay, sisters, daughters.
Yeah, these expressions to me,
Well,
they that's Cindy Crawford, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Crawford's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Cindy Crawford having that bump on her nose.
You never looked at her nose, Patrick.
That's true.
Stupid.
But yeah, I'm sitting here on Twitter, and Joe Gitchell just showed a coffee mug, and then over here I see this little picture of these two hot chicks looking at each other with googly eyes. So I had to click on
That's
it.
That's a great cut.
Yes, meet people where they are at. Have we said that on this show before, Kevin?
Oh fuck! If we haven't, we should have.
I believe we did. We have multiple times.
I'm sure we have. See, Robinson said the same thing.
So yeah,
I said sisters. Yeah.
Maybe my mind is just in the gutter tonight, but yeah.
Well,
and now it says Henry Winkler, and I'm afraid to click on this because it might tell me he just died.
No, he probably caught another trout. I just started following him.
I don't want to click on it because I don't want the Fonz to be dead. I mean, I don't agree with him on any politics, but
the Fonz can't die.
No, he's not. And since I clicked on the picture now just to verify, he is a man after my own heart. He's got a little fish and a stogie.
There you go. I had not seen that one. Yeah. I saw one the other day with him with a fish, and I thought, oh, that'll make me follow you just because you got a fish in your hand. And he had quite a few. I had not seen the stogie. That's beautiful. One of them had some water dripping off his hand. It's so good.
Look at the actual joy on the Fonz's face right here. Like, this is actual real joy.
That's how you're living. That's him, how he's living right there. That's what that is. How are you living is a great question to ask people. Kind of throws them off. And that's how he's living, and I love that. Yeah.
But if it, like I said, normally if I see a celebrity's name over there on the side like that, it's usually me that they died.
They're dead or in jail. One of the two. Yeah.
Shinzo Abe, the Prime Minister of Japan, was assassinated today. And I saw somebody else was also announced.
Aren't there no guns in Japan?
No, they have guns. They just they have more restrictions than what we have. Plus, what the guy had a ghost gun. It was a 3D printed gun. So yeah, that just shows you what gun bans will do.
Right. Well, How did we come to the 4th of July? I'm sorry. What's the independence part?
I actually tweeted a quote from
Nobody knows, right?
from the Declaration.
Yeah, what did you say?
A couple weeks
Let me
ago.
fact check your ass.
I tweeted it as an experiment.
Okay. What was the tweet?
I got to scroll down and find it
because we got to go now. I even though
I already found it. This is my favorite. This is my favorite paragraph or sentence from the Declaration.
All right.
Now, I mean,
you can have yours. I can have mine.
Everybody, the Declaration of Independence is such a beautifully written document that,
and it's mine.
You literally pick 100 different quotes and say this is my favorite quote, but this literally is my favorite, and it's when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security.
Now, who retweeted you? Just for fun.
Aldous.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure Aldous did.
Aldous, huh?
No, he didn't. Ian Thomas and you.
Ian, I think I follow.
And Aldous was one of the people. I do remember Aldous liked it because he asked. Yeah, he did.
Oh, Big B's in there. Big Thunder, Big Mike. There you go.
Our Aussie guy over here, he liked it.
He knows. I think he knows.
Just saying.
I think he knows stuff. I think he's way smarter than we are, actually.
So, I mean, basically what it says is right here, and when people talk about the Second Amendment or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and that it's supposed to be about hunting or whatever,
right?
We have other documents that are written by the founders, the Declaration being written by the same author of many of the
who risked their very lives. Risked their very lives.
Oh, I mean, I was just reading statistics the other day of percentages of the people that actually signed the Declaration.
That
like 80% of the people that signed the Declaration lost everything they owned. Like 60% of the people that signed the Declaration lost their families.
Yeah.
Like 40% were killed or imprisoned.
Mm-hmm.
So, you start going through, and if you go through the list and you say, okay, what happened to this guy? What happened to that guy?
And you are probably
these guys signed this document guaranteeing our freedom
to bitch
if we won, and then said we're going to put everything on the line to fight for the future of our kids, our families, our descendants.
King Henry III, right? Is that who that was at the time?
What?
Who was the king?
George.
King George.
George the second.
I know less, I'm sure, than you do of verse and chapter, but wow, what a foundation! What an amazing piece of history and amazing piece of our world. Our section of the world, at least, that a lot of people just misdiagnose very quickly and push off. Yeah.
But yeah, when people say, "Oh, well, the founders didn't believe that every citizen should have a gun to overthrow the government," I'm like, okay, have you read this quote?
It's a big part.
Like, really, this is right in the Declaration. This is their justification for rebelling against the British Crown.
And why were we rebelling again, Patrick? What was that? from?
Taxation without representation.
Right. And
we were given no voice in how our colony was being run, and it was.
And what was the king going to do to us?
Well, he was taxing us.
He was going to come over and take our guns as well.
Well, he was going to take, he was going to house soldiers in your home. That's why there's a a clause in the Constitution that says that the military cannot force their way into your house to live.
Mm-hmm.
They were quartering British soldiers in your home and putting you out into the barn, you know. And oh, by the way, you still have to feed us.
And then we're going to burn you down when we go.
And then, as we leave, we're gonna take all of your livestock and burn your shit down.
Yeah, we're taking
if you have any, daughters of the right age, we may also take advantage of them.
Yeah, damn right.
So,
a lot of nasty history.
But, I'm reading a really awesome biography. I've been reading it a couple pages at a time. It's about a guy named Daniel Morgan. He was one of George Washington's generals during the Revolution, but he was a soldier during the French and Indian War. He was on the British side. He was just like a corporal or something a British officer said something rude to him, and they had a verbal exchange, and the British officer took his sword out and hit him across the back of the head with the flat of the blade. So, it pissed this guy off enough that he turned around and cold cocked him and knocked him out. Now, the punishment for assaulting a superior officer in the British Army at the time was 500 lashes, which is the same as death.
Yeah, death.
He survived.
Holy shit.
And after that, he said, I'm never going to fight for the British crown again. Go fuck yourselves.
Wow.
And after he left the military, he became a teamster, and he started his own wagon company, and they would go and buy stuff in the bigger stores in the bigger cities, and they'd go from village to village selling the wares, like a mercantile business. And over a few years, he made a lot of money. He bought prestige. But he was uneducated. But he was a great shot, good out in the field. He knew how to run a business. So then when the revolution happened, they're like, you're going to carry our stuff from base to base. Your wagon business is, we're borrowing your wagon business. And then George Washington said, aren't you a really good shot? So
that's exactly how he said it too.
Pretty much. And so he actually developed the sniper. His job was to build they bought these Tennessee long rifles that had a little bit of extra range, more stopping power, and he had to march his guys from Virginia to Boston. And they said, you're going to get there late. The Brits are going to beat you because, you got to carry all your shit. Your wagons are going to be so slow. So what he did was he told the guys running the wagons, get there when you get there. And he took all the riflemen and he double timed it from Virginia to Boston. He got there 2 days earlier than what he was supposed to. And he beat the Brits there, and he gave his standing orders were, we're not going to stand in a straight line like these idiots try to make you fight a war. He says, you're going to hide in the trees. You're going to be in the scrub. And when you get an opportunity to take out an officer, shoot them first.
Yep.
So it's a great book. he's the real life character that they took a lot of the inspiration for Mel Gibson's character in The Patriot.
Ah, okay. Damn.
No, it's not Charles Morgan. That's a pirate guy.
Yeah. What are your final thoughts, Patrick?
Read books.
Read books?
Actually, that is actually a good thing. It keeps your brain, and you can find interesting things.
Yes.
But Captain Morgan was the pirate, but I don't know that that's the same Captain Morgan. But no, this is a different Morgan. Anyway, pay attention to what the hell's going on. We see a lot of stuff on Twitter. I would never have been able to spot there's no such thing as harm reduction if I hadn't seen that Philip Kirschberg had made that reply to somebody.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm talking about Daniel Morgan, not Charles. Daniel Morgan, and he was not a Navy captain. He was anyway. So yeah, I mean, just pay attention to stuff. We're seeing good news happen all the time. If we can, and listening to books is fine as well. I do books on tape all the time. I'm in my car all day. But the cigar thing doesn't directly affect us. We actually used part of the same argument in a previous legal case and lost.
It's related.
I mean, loosely, the Administrative Procedures Act, they won by making a slightly similar argument. They won, we lost. Jewel is going to be Jewel, dude.
Yep.
I don't think anything that happens to them in any way, shape, or form is going to help us in any way, shape, or form. We have to fight our own fight.
Yeah.
But we will always be here. My sponsor still hasn't answered us whether or not they're going to sponsor us. But anyway, they promised us at the beginning of the year that they were, but anyway. Love you guys. We'll see you in probably 7 days.
7 days.
If we don't see you beforehand, try not to have too much fun, but make sure you have some fun. Go find your kids, tuck them in the bed, give them a kiss on the head. Go find your wife, if she has a red bathing suit, make her put it on, have some.
Put it on.
A little something. And
grandkids.
Kevin, all of us are not as old as you. We don't all have grandkids. But anyway, we love you. We'll see you in 7 days. Bye.
If we look at a subset of smokers who are otherwise unable or unwilling to quit, they're going to continue to smoke that pack of cigarettes. Half of them will die prematurely later in life from that decision. If we could get all of those people to completely switch all of their cigarettes for one of these non-combustible products, that would be good for public health.